Hey everyone, welcome to K to Z Movies on Zach
Get out.
Reviews channel. My name is Zach, your host, and next to me is my brother from another internet mother, Kenneth Sparkerton Jr. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm quite well, man. Thanks for the introduction. I am alive and well, doing much
Here,
better since I'm here with you, man. Yeah, man, doing okay. I see my
I'm glad to hear
picture
that.
freezing a
Glad to
little
hear
bit,
that.
but that's okay.
So yeah, if you've been on the live stream before, we rank all the movies that we saw in November 2024, whether they're old or they're new, based on how much fun we had with them, how theatrical we feel they are, and just how good
Mhm.
they are in general. Our rankings, if I can pull that up, is IMAX, obviously well deserving an IMAX feature. Full price, you should go see the full price to support it. Matinee,
Mhm.
that means you should go see it on like a day off and you have, or see in the middle of the afternoon where you get it for cheaper, just in case you might not like it. Streaming, meaning like just stay home and wait for the streaming if it's not already a streaming movie. And skip means completely skip the garbage. Please skip the
Skip it.
garbage. I gotta say, for November, I don't think we have any skips based on the list I was looking at.
Not that I can
But
remember.
yeah, November was, I didn't see as much movies as I would like, but November's been really, really solid. We had like an event basically last week
Yep.
of 3 movies. And
Hmm.
yeah, it was a successful event. So I'm excited to get into this.
Wait, you
Kenny,
said
what's your
3 movies?
overall feel?
What were the 3 movies? So
So
I know 2 of them, but what was the third?
we got Glicked, and then Moana 2. Psychological.
Oh, gotcha.
You know, yeah, in a matter of 5 days, all those came out. So
So Gladiator.
Glicked. Oh, I like that. That
Yeah,
sounds like
it's off the top of the dome.
somebody on one of those bad girls club shows. Gluckwana be acting
Yeah,
up.
that's hilarious. That
That's
is high key
hilarious.
hilarious.
But in this live stream, we do not ignore people in the live chat. So we got a few
Oh,
comments from one individual, and he already dropping super chats. So I appreciate you
oh
so
wow.
much. Collective Movie Man with a $5 super chat. I appreciate you. He said, "Hey Zach, have you started House of Dragon?" And Kenny Sparks, have you finished House of Dragon? You go first.
I have not finished House of Dragon. I still have the same last 2 episodes left. I probably won't get to it until season 3.
Mm,
At this point, because I don't see myself ever being like, oh, you know what? Let me just watch those last 2 episodes. Um,
gotcha.
I just don't see that happening. I'll definitely watch season 3 because I do like the show, but I don't see myself
What is
watching
it
it.
that's holding you back from finishing the show?
I don't care. Uh,
Okay.
it's not that I don't care about the show. Like, so from the basic reaction of the internet, like everybody was like,
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing
and
too.
yeah, so, and honestly, that's kind of I don't know if we're going to talk about this, but that's kind of how I've been feeling about what's the people in the sand Dune. That's how I've been feeling
Dune
about Dune
Prophecy.
Prophecy. No one has like been like, oh my god, it's great. Everybody's like, it is a show that exists,
Yeah.
and if you'd like to watch it, you could. And if you don't, fine. Like I haven't heard anything bad, but I've heard no hype about Dune Prophecy at all.
Yeah, it's not either way. It's kind of just right in the middle, so that
Hmm.
hasn't gotten me excited. I did hear that it has like the lore, but it doesn't have Denise flair.
Hmm.
Because if you don't have Denise flair, Dune can be bad, right?
Yeah.
Like it can be boring if it doesn't have
Hmm.
Denise flair. So I can see the show might be boring because if you play it like a House of Dragon, but with Dune lore, so there's no incest, it's gonna be boring.
If we can stay incest free, I'd be all for
I know, but I'm just saying, House of
it.
Dragon is exciting because of the
Yeah.
incest. Yeah.
Is that why it's exciting?
I haven't watched. I think if you take out all the incestual drama out of the show, it's
Hmm.
a lot more boring than it actually is.
I think I see what you're saying. It's kind of like that. I see what because there's a whole lot of interplay in terms of like succession and who's king or queen or rightful owner, blah 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 blah. And in a weird way, you can't really have that without incest. So
And there's other shows in the past that have been similar that tried
Mhm.
this without the incest. They try to do it the
Mhm.
more modern way, and they don't survive like the Game of
Right.
Thrones franchise has because it's
Yeah.
just not as spicy. People like the
Mhm.
spice, just like in Doom.
Need the spice.
Um, One thing I gotta say, I gotta shout out a show, right? I just watched episode 8. It's one of my favorite shows. It's becoming one of my favorite shows of all time. You guys know me, you know what I'm about talking about. Superman and Lois. I just
Oh,
watched episode 8. The final episode is coming out next week.
mhm.
I'm gonna be destroyed. I love this show so much. Episode 8 was absolutely insane. I Everything that they're doing with this season is fantastic. They only got 10 episodes instead of 15,
Mhm.
and they really packed in a lot in these 10, but also hasn't made it feel like it was overstuffed to the point where things are not getting fleshed out. So
Right.
like it's a lot happening, but everything's still getting fleshed out at the same time. Doesn't feel rushed.
Yeah. I think I've
Um,
told you I've watched the entire first season except for the last two episodes. I don't know why there's always the last two episodes thing, but I watched the entire and I was enjoying the hell out of it. I forget
yeah,
what happened, but I just got distracted and started doing something else. But that first season, I was like, man, I'm really into this. This is great. And I've always thought that like Superman and Lois being married and B having children was always a great way to progress the character because we don't see a
yeah,
lot of characters in comic books progress in their lives and their family lives
no,
and all this other stuff.
they go
Usually
backwards.
they're stagnant. If you think about there's a lot of weird things about comics. The weirdest thing about comics is that Peter Parker is still an adult. You want to say early 30s, like
Maybe if that,
maybe if that,
might
like
be 28.
late 28, and he's been late 28, and you think about all the adventures and crazy stuff that he's happened since his inception to now, he would that it's impossible, right?
Yeah,
So I think that's one of the funnier things, so that they don't progress like that. It's like the Ash Ketchum thing. He's been 10 for 20 years. You know what I mean?
yeah, going through years worth of travels.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, that's a show that I've been on. I've been watching the show called Irrational, which has been really fun, starring
Mhm.
the guy from Flash. I forgot what his name is right now. He
Grant
played
Gustin?
no, the cop stepdad or
Oh,
adopted
okay.
dad. Iris's dad.
Oh no, I
Iris'
know what
dad.
you're talking about. I know what
Yeah,
you're talking about.
show is solid. It's a procedural. It's funny. It's interesting. The kind of like psychology behind the stuff that he's doing.
Yeah.
I've been watching that and Abbott Elementary. So that's basically like the three shows I've been on. Elementary is fantastic. If you have not
Hmm.
watched that show, I understand why people love The Office so much now
Yeah.
because this is my office. I
Hmm.
love that show so much.
I'm catching
Um,
up. We're like episode 9 of season 3 of Abbott Elementary. For some
okay,
reason, we just didn't watch season 3 as it was coming out, but we're catching up.
so it's so good.
Yeah,
And
it's great.
other shows I'm watching. Oh, Adventures of Superman. My Adventures of
Mhm.
Superman. I started. I haven't finished yet. I'm gonna get back into that.
Oh, I remember I
Yeah,
told you about that thing sucked, and then I kept watching. It's great.
yeah.
I got
And I
through
don't
two.
blame you because when I first started watching it, I was like, "Oh,
Mhm.
this is like a cutesy anime version of Superman."
Yeah.
Yeah, but then
Hmm.
it picked up.
Oh yeah, it definitely picked up, and then when it picked up,
And
it just kept going.
yeah, and you know what I find interesting with the two Superman annotations we have, right? The animated one, we have like a Lex Luthor who's young and not Lex yet. They
Hmm.
haven't said his name yet, and they're purposely doing that, and I think that's funny.
Right.
And then in Superman and Lois, we have a Lex that's older, hardened, been in jail for 16 years, and he is a demon. He's on demon time. Like
Hmm.
his theme music sounds like he's on demon time. So, but he's still Lex. I like that. Like they still kept the essence of both characters, but they're
Yeah.
very different. So I find that very interesting. But yeah,
Mhm.
House of Dragon, I'm definitely gonna start. I want to start this show called Lioness, and I want to start this show
Yeah.
called Silo on Apple TV Plus. That's kind of like my plans in terms of TV right
I
now.
want to
There's
start Silo too because the spoiler kings have been talking that thing up, and I really want to get into it.
yeah,
I've been
and I want to
watching
watch
Alex
their
Cross.
breakdowns.
I've been watching Alex Cross. Well, I mean, my wife, and
Oh yeah, I gotta watch the first two
and
episodes. I gotta get into it.
it's fantastic. I cannot like we have 3 episodes left because there's only 8 episodes in the season, and I'm just like, yo, this is too good. This is really good. So,
Yeah, man.
yeah, so I'm enjoying that too. So I cannot wait to get back to that. We'll probably finish it by tomorrow. Like we've been zooming through it.
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah, that's it for everything in TV land.
Yeah. And then Reacher, I'm also about to restart too, so I'm excited about that.
Wait, I need to watch season 2.
Yeah, I saw season 1, but my mom hasn't, and I'm gonna watch it with her. So I'm gonna watch season 1 with her after
Yeah,
we're done. Soon.
just tell her to watch Rebel Ridge.
I'm gonna show her that and The
It's
Land of
just
Bad
it's
movies. I need
basically
to show
season
her.
1.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Collective Movie with another super chat. I appreciate you
Hey,
so
thank you.
much. It says ZNK, you guys started watching Doom Prophecy. We kind of brought that up.
Yeah,
No,
not yet.
not yet. Just haven't heard any great things about it. The trailers did not sell me at all.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really need a TV show prequel. I'm not gonna lie.
Especially about
Um,
the Benny Jesuit. Like, I'm fine with them being mysterious.
yeah, I don't need to see the start, but
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna get to it eventually. Just not right now. It might be a show that starts slow and then get better.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Agatha All Along, one of my favorite shows of the year. That shit. Talk about picking up.
Mm-hmm.
Collective Movie Man said, I just wanted to tell you guys something. I just found out there's 8 different TV shows of the Game of Thrones universe in development, plus 2 movies. 3 of the TV shows are going to be animated. This sounds like Star Wars plans.
They can relax. They can chill out a little
Yeah.
bit.
I don't feel like there's enough Game of Thrones stuff you can do.
You know what it is? Even the things I like, I don't want that much of.
Yeah.
Right? I think the difference between like doing like a Game of Thrones kind of thing, like a Marvel things, like Marvel and DC and comic books are built to be like individualized, like or to build. There's each character is built to kind of stand on their own, and when they come together, oh, it's special. But they're kind of like, but the Game of Thrones thing, it's like the
It's
same.
all
It's a Star
do
Wars.
too
It's a
much
Star
different.
Wars problem. It's the same family. They want the same stuff. It's been 50 plus years. I don't talk to me about another Skywalker. I swear to God. So yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Hey, TJ Billets, what's up, man?
DJ.
And if you're in the live chat, tell me what movies, TV shows, and stuff that you've been watching as well. This is
Yep.
super interactive. So I definitely want to hear from you guys. As speaking of that, we had a poll going. What I said, favorite Thanksgiving movie this year. The choices was Wicked, Gladiator, Moana, and Rider One. And Wicked won by 87%. Not surprised at all.
Not surprised.
I don't care what people think. I watch it and make my own opinions on TV shows, as you should.
Yeah,
As
absolutely.
you should. CC Clement, woo, woo, woo. What's up, CC?
See money.
Definitely watch Superman and Lois, but I'm watching Doom Prophecy, West Wing, and Naruto Shippuden. That's a good lineup right there.
Naruto. Love that show.
Laser,
The
you're
laser
right. It's been a while.
is
My
back.
guy, he's
How
back.
are you?
And Michael 101591. What's up?
What's up,
How you
man?
doing?
How you doing, Michael?
Michael's having a Grinch watch along. I think next Sunday.
Nice.
And
Jim
I should
Carrey
be
Grinch?
participating. Yeah. Well, he didn't tell me which one, but
Okay.
yeah, I heard both movies are fine. I've never seen either of them. So either or will be my first time watching if I get to go.
You mean like you've never seen the Grinch?
No Grinches.
Okay.
I don't know why.
They're both good. So
Haven't seen any movies in November. What?
Really? You know,
Yeah,
honestly, I like for a lot of November, I felt like I hadn't seen any movies. Like I really felt like November was a slow month. Because I remember like messaging earlier in the month, like I don't think I've seen like enough to do a stream yet. So, but I
felt the same too.
This past 2 weeks, like kind of picked up. So,
yeah, I have more faith in HBO than Disney Plus.
That's fair. Track record, yeah, I agree.
As far as TV shows go, last show I sat through was The Penguin. Still got to finish great. Fallout. Oh, you're on the Fallout. Yo, it took me a while with Fallout, man. It ended really well, but it was rough. It was rough those first couple episodes. It's not like it's bad. It's just not different enough from what I've seen. Like it was predictable until the last 2 episodes.
I've seen other things like it.
Yeah, and it doesn't differentiate itself enough for me to like, oh, I gotta. There was no hook. I like the actors. I like it's well made. It's just the
Hmm.
story wasn't just hooking me for some reason. It was too
Yeah,
much meandering.
I agree with you completely. Like, it's not a bad story at all. Or not that it's not a bad story. It's not. It doesn't seem like a bad show at all. It seems very
Yeah,
well produced.
yeah.
Very like people put a lot of thought into it, and costuming is great too. But I just kind of like, sorry for all the dishes you guys hear clanking. I had not eaten in a while, and my wife just made mac and cheese. Let me see,
Yeah.
guys in the chat.
On theme. Thanksgiving, man. Yeah, you know what I mean,
Yeah, leftovers.
he said I changed my profile, man. What do you think? I like this. It's similar to your last picture, but it looks more seasonal. It looks a little Christmassy.
Hmm.
Tank
Very simple.
Kramer,
Yo, what's
the
up, Tank?
fearless leader of the Spoiler Kings.
Tank, we were just
I was
talking
just asking him. Oh, you go ahead.
Silo.
What?
We were just
Oh yeah,
talking up Silo. Yep.
yeah. We were just talking about how we need to start it because we want to jump into your conversations about it because
Hmm.
you guys keep hyping it up and I haven't seen it yet. Um, I really want to check it out. Now that Apple TV Plus is on Prime Video, I can now watch it on the train.
Oh, really?
Definitely going to be doing that. Yeah, you can add it as an extension for $10. So I'm like, that's easy.
That's not bad.
Yeah. I won't be seeing any movies in December until after Christmas. That's fair.
Okay.
Holiday season, I get why people don't see movies. I'm going to be seeing way more movies in December than I have ever watched in a month
Hmm.
because I'm going to have a lot more free time
Yeah.
because my mama is going to be away. So that's going to be fun.
Oh, you about to wild out.
Uh, yeah, I'm about to have so much shenanigans. So many
Don't be
shenanigans.
crashing out, man.
Last time I had a party. And I'm finally gonna start X-Men 97, another great show
Yeah.
from this year. Finally made my own Disney Plus account for $2.99. Last movie I saw was Moana 2, but I've been meaning to start the piano lesson.
Oh,
Ooh, I'm gonna be talking about that movie today.
you got that Black Friday deal.
Yeah, he did for Hulu and Disney Plus.
That's what's up.
You're gonna have something. You're gonna be finding what I have to say about piano lesson very interesting.
Okay.
Uh, Not movie related, but what did you guys have for Thanksgiving? I had Korean barbecue wings with soy, garlic, and honey, Hawaiian manorama, something like that. Some spicy habanero. There we go.
Hmm.
Mixing up the words with seasoned fries and some mochi.
Word.
So,
I baked my annual honey glazed ham. My wife made the candy yams and the greens, as well as a salad of some sort. She actually made mac and cheese today. The only reason why we didn't make mac and cheese prior is because we were going over a friend's house and they were responsible for making the mac and cheese and like blah 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 blah. But we typically make two pans. We typically make a pan for home and a pan because we are typically the people who bring the mac and cheese. And I'm typically the person who cooks it. I bet you guys didn't know I could cook. I can. I just choose not to. Um,
uh,
um, but yeah, so
Chef
we
Ken.
were killing. We used to host Friendsgiving every single year before the pandemic hit
Oh wow.
at our home. Yep. But yeah, that's everything we have.
I got Disney Plus for $2.99 for the whole year. It was a deal for Disney Plus doing for Black Friday. I'm going to start watching the Star Wars shows tomorrow, and I'm going to start X-Men. Nice.
That's awesome.
Silo is a must watch. It's so good. Get caught up with Severance 2. Season 2 starts mid-January. I saw
I saw
Severance.
Severance. Yeah, I can't wait.
So good. That
Now,
was one of the greatest season finales I've ever seen in my life.
I want to say absolutely. I remember feeling that way. I think this might be a Arcane situation for me because Arcane season 2 came out. I started watching it, didn't remember a goddamn thing that happened in season 1, and ended up having to rewatch season 1. I'm in the middle of rewatching season 1, so I can watch season 2.
Okay.
Severance is another one of those shows that are so specific and like very like small moments, and you got to remember these
Yeah.
clues here and there. I think I might just have to end up rewatching that again, but I'm not going to wait
I'm
until
probably going to have to because
second
there's a
season.
lot that happens throughout that show.
Yeah, I what was that? That was like 3 years ago too. So, yeah.
It's been a minute.
Hmm.
Been a minute. How has 2024 been? For me, it's been a very rough year for me with some good moments. Whoo, that's a loaded question.
Hmm.
Just because I want to get to the main topics and stuff like that, I'm gonna say fine. It's been fine. One
Hmm.
thing I say though, so something that I'm gonna talk, I like to give you guys some personal nuggets. I had some large debt um, from when I was in college. I made some bad financial decisions when I was a kid. I was like, what, 21, 22, and they got me
Mhm.
with the credit card stuff, and I had some large
Mm.
financial debt with the credit card stuff,
Predatory.
and I've been dealing with it since then, right? And I'm in my
Yep.
30s now. I just paid off like 90% of my debt,
Hallelujah.
and I have my plan is to get the rest off by February.
Mhm.
And then we're moving in June, so things are
That's
looking up.
that's what's
And
up.
I'm going on a cruise in April,
Hey.
so things are moving in a positive direction where I can start living life a little bit more like a normal person.
Yeah.
So I'll say that all
Mhm.
the negative things that's happened in 2024, this is a very positive thing for me.
Yeah, this year has not had a lot of super negatives for me. Nothing that really like threw me off kilter. Like I had some moments, of course, everybody has their moments, but I would say overall this year has been really good. I mean, I found a job that I'm working and consistently and doing really well at. I've I got monetized earlier this year. I uh, yeah, and also the community that me and you kind of helped foster, along with Spoiler Kings and everybody else who's been influential in the space, has really kind of grown, like close knit, in some senses. So it's been a really good year for me in this community, and yeah, I'm curious to see like what next year looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm so happy for you. In terms, I was like, obviously, we haven't seen each other in person, but you're my
Mhm.
guy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You're
yeah,
my guy. So
100%.
when you told me these things, I was like, Ma, he did it. She was like, "Oh, I'm happy for him." I was like, "She never
Yeah.
even seen you before." Well, she has seen you on TV, but she's like, "I
Mhm.
never seen this man before, and I'm happy for him." I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh."
man.
X-Men 7 is what I'm going to start watching. Jim Carrey's The Grinch is the watch.
Nice.
Okay.
That's a good one. That's a really fun movie.
Only movie I saw this month was Wicked, which is a masterpiece. I heard you say that.
Hmm.
So we're
Hmm.
going to be talking about that's the main event of tonight.
Yep.
And Cece, thank you so much for being happy for us. And
Thank
I
you,
know
Cece.
positive things are coming for you too, YouTube wise and work
100%.
wise. I'm
Yeah.
manifesting it for you.
Yes.
All right. So we'll keep the questions coming in. We're gonna
Hmm.
keep answering them throughout the night, but we definitely want to get to the main topics of the
Absolutely.
evening. And the first one up, and I know that there's some movies we're gonna spend some time on because I know we have a lot to say. Certain movies that we're
Hmm.
gonna kind of brush through as well because there's certain movies that I only saw, certain movies he only saw.
Yeah.
And then there's movies that I feel like we're not gonna have too much to say about, even though we both
Right.
saw them. But this first one, it's a movie that didn't come out this month, but it's a movie that he finally got to see, and I'm
Hmm.
excited to talk to him about it. And that is Hundreds of Beavers. The basically the synopsis for this film is a drunken Applejack salesman must go from zero to hero and become North American greatest fur trapper by defeating hundreds of beavers.
This.
This film is on Prime Video. I just want to let
It
you
is.
guys know if you want to go check it out, and I
Hmm.
highly recommend it. Go ahead, say what you will say.
This is one of the best movies I've seen this year. It literally jumped all the way into. It's number 10 right now. It's in my top 10. It was number 9, but then Wicked happened and moved it back one. But yeah, Hundreds of Beavers is such a weird, like avant-garde movie, if you will, and like it's black. It's in black and white. There's a lot of like, not puppetry, but there's a lot of like, people in like costumes, and the way that it's filmed, like it's funny as hell. It is
Yes,
so freaking funny, and essentially like the Hundreds of Beavers part of the film where the main character has to defend or defeat hundreds of beavers. Like it, the conclusion that it comes to is very well worth it. I won't spend too much time on it because, like I said, oh wait, no, we have both seen it. But yeah, I
yep,
if I could sell you on anything about this movie, it's the comedy and how funny this movie is, and how many like it draws you in because of how different it is from other things that you've seen this year. This is the most different of every movie that I've seen this year, and it's really good. It is. It does feel a little long at points. Like it's like, hey, but once it hits its stride, like because it does have like ebbs and flows throughout the movie, where it's like, oh, we're really doing a lot, and parts where like, we're not doing much, but we're doing some like character work. I think that the movie's really strong in that sense, and I highly recommend. This is my top 10. You know what I mean? So, and I've seen 104 movies this year. It's the 10th best movie I've seen out of 104. Like that's saying something. So, yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely love this movie. I'm so glad it's on Prime Video now so that I can sing its praises and more people have access to it because
Hmm.
it technically came out in 2022, but it was festival and then it
Yeah.
couldn't get funding till now. So I'm
Right.
saying this is the official release for 2024. This is one
Yep.
of the most unique movies I've seen, period. Not just this year, just
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
It's Looney Tunes live action, but like
Hmm.
in the most minimal way. Like it's people in beaver costumes and they're the beavers. There's
Yeah.
no dialogue spoken. That's
Oh
another
yeah.
thing.
There's zero. There's pretty much zero dialogue.
It's like an old school black and white film
Yep.
where there was no dialogue. It was all the storytelling was through the body of action, and there's a
Hmm.
lot of that, right?
Yeah.
The VFX are good and they're funny.
Yep.
The practical effects are great, and like he was saying that there's parts that is like, okay, we're not doing nothing. There's like a repetitive loop sections
Hmm.
that they have as this
Yeah.
guy's trying to survive in this dangerous winter that he's in,
Right.
and it's used for good storytelling because it's there. And you're like, okay, this is kind of getting repetitive, but then when the loop is broken, you're like, oh shoot,
Right.
right? Like
Right.
it's
Right.
that thing of like what video games do. It's like a really good video game movie,
Hmm.
where they put you in a loop and then they break it, and you're like, oh wait, hold up, this is not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
The movie's well acted, it's funny, it's
Agreed.
inventive, it's creative. It's just the one most unique thing you'll ever see if you have Prime Video, which I know most of you guys have because you probably
Mm.
have Amazon Prime.
Right.
Go check it out. It is a little long, but it's worth the ride because how
You know
fun
what
it is.
surprised me about this movie
What's
was
up?
how violent it was. Like,
It's so violent.
it's so violent, and it's weirdly violent where it's like I don't even know how to explain it. Like it's not like Kill Bill blood and gore and stuff like that.
No,
But at the same time, it's like, God damn, like, whoa.
the wolves,
The wolves are crazy.
especially that night scene where he's
Yeah.
climbing up the tree. Oh man,
All the moments, and we're not going to spoil it, but all the moments where there's an animal that's trapped by the trapper, and a different animal comes by, and it's like you see like the remnants of what happens. I'm like, God, like it just like, oh man, it's
yeah,
really fun in that way. All right,
yeah,
but
man.
we talked
It's
it up enough. But yeah, it's great.
Yeah, man. It's insane. It's great. I highly recommend you guys check out Hundreds of Beavers because it's a wild ass name. I see Perp Minded, shout out to you.
I just saw that too.
Glad you explained that because with the name 100 Beavers, I don't know what I was thinking exactly.
Hmm.
No, it's not a hub movie. It's not a hub movie.
No,
Um it's not kid friendly. It's like you said, it's violent.
yeah, it's
But
very violent.
for us as 90s kids who grew up with Looney Tunes and things like that, for this is like it brings the kid out of you, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But in an adult way.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, in terms of cinematic ranking, this one's hard. I don't think it's an IMAX kind of film because of the nature of the movie. But I think it's a full price.
I'm definitely saying it's full price.
I think for both of us, it's a full price. I say for you guys because it's so weird and there's a possibility that you might not like it because it's so weird and different. It is a matinee, but it's on streaming, so just
Hmm.
watch it on Prime Video.
Yeah.
You're not gonna really catch it. It's still in theaters, but you're not gonna really get to catch it. I can't wait for the physical media because
Hmm.
they tease that and it looks amazing. It's like a big beaver head, the box set thing that they have. So I'm down for that. And also the marketing for this movie has been amazing. They keep spoofing all the major movies posters with the beaver, and it's hilarious.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what you guys have to say real quick. Masterpiece, happy for us. Don't be bad, man. I have credit card debt. Also, my mom got me my first credit card in her name, and I went crazy with it. I was with this 2,000. I've been putting $50. $2,000 is light work compared to what I was talking about. I was way more in debt than $2,000. I could have, if it was $2,000, I would have paid that off 10 years ago. But I'm glad that you feel the pain that I had in some way. Though. I appreciate that. And
Yeah.
after Christmas, I'm going to start 250 down. All right, yeah, man, you got to. I saw Jim Carrey's Grinch in theaters yesterday, and that was the first time I saw the film in 20 years. Wow. I didn't even know it was coming back. Oh, that makes sense because it's
I didn't know
Christmas
it was
time.
20 years old.
Yeah. It's
My lord.
yo, the way time is passing for us is nuts.
We're old, man.
Yeah. 2024 has been kicking my ass, but this community has really held me together. I really appreciate y'all. I appreciate you, sister.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't think your flowers have been spoken enough. The way you be so just chill and cool and down for the, you know what? And also, I got to shout you out. You're my favorite movies that made us that I've had so far. And I
Mhm.
had some great ones so far. So, but you
Yeah.
definitely my one of my favorites. Also, Screams and Reviews, Jason. It's probably you guys are probably the top two.
Mhm.
And then Kenny's in there somewhere, but ours went for like 6 hours. So
Yeah, that
that was
was my
insane.
fault. Yeah.
But that was more my fault because I was like, no, you have a limited amount of movies, not realizing Kenny loves every goddamn movie in existence. So we gonna be there
Yeah.
forever.
Oh my god. If there's anything I need, it's limits.
He's like, I need limits.
Mhm.
Also, just a plug. My next movies that made you is gonna be on. It might be on the 21st, but I might have to reschedule it to the 22nd. But that's gonna be with Dark Movies, Toby. I'm really excited to do
Hey,
that.
that's gonna be great.
I just set the date, time, and I gave him all the stuff that I need to
Mhm.
set it up. So thumbnails and stuff will be teased soon. But I'm also seeing Sonic 3 with a friend on the 21st. I'm
Nice.
probably gonna move it to either the 19th or the 22nd,
Okay.
just so we have time. I
Yeah.
don't want to rush him or anything like that.
Mhm.
He said, I'm glad you both are doing well. Seeing y'all smile make me smile. No pun intended. Oh my God,
Awesome.
TJ. Don't feel bad, Ken. If you're in credit card debt, same. I'm here. Ken ain't say nothing about that. That boy good.
I'm
He's like,
I'm
I
not.
don't know about that.
I'm not. I just
But
haven't said anything about it.
he's like, glad that you okay, we saw that. He said
Mhm.
violence. Oh yeah, CC
You
love the
see,
violence.
it's a weird one, but I think that
I
you'll
think you'll
enjoy it.
like this, CC.
Yeah.
You like Hoodwink.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Which I did watch, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure, checking this out. I love kind of weird movies. I know you will, Tank. Once you do watch it, let me know message me immediately. I need to know your thoughts.
Mhm.
Not a hub movie. Yeah, I just let you know.
You gotta make
We
distinctions.
yeah, we're not talking about those type of movies on my live stream. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I know you like weird perp minded because you be your top 10 be weird ass movies, and I
Mhm.
appreciate it. I think I'm gonna have to check out the Beaver movie now. You definitely should, TJ. I
Yeah.
a review of you reviewing that will be hilarious because I could just see your face like what.
Totally agree.
Okay, next up, and if you will do the honors of reading this, Mr. Kenilworth
Mhm.
Sparks is a movie that we both saw.
Okay. An 18th, my old ass. An 18th birthday mushroom trip brings Elliot face to face with her wisecracking 39-year-old self. When the older Elliot starts handing out warnings about what her younger self, should and shouldn't do, she realizes that she has to rethink everything about family, love, and what's becoming a transformative summer.
Yeah, man. My old ass. Such
Hmm. Hmm.
a funny ass name. It's one of my favorite movies of the year.
Yeah.
And I saw it when it originally had like its limited release in theaters. So I think I did this last month. I talked about
Hmm.
it for a little bit, but it finally basically it went wide on Prime Video. Like it's on
Yeah.
Prime Video now. I think everyone has access to it. I highly recommend it, especially if you are someone that is it works for two different demographics. If you're someone that is in your like 19, 20, 21-year old, there's a lot there for you. But if you're
Yep.
someone that's in your 30s or even 40s, there's a lot there for you as well.
Hmm.
It's funny, it's insightful, it's memorable characters. The
Yes.
acting is really good.
Yes.
That you do a really good job of using natural light to do the cinematography for the film, and it looks
Hmm.
gorgeous. I don't know
Yeah.
where they are, but the movie looks great.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know where they were either.
I think they're somewhere in Canada, but I'm not sure where.
Mm.
Um, and it's just a really insightful film in terms of the use of time travel. Like they don't explain how the time travel works, but
Yeah.
just imagining you as an 18-year-old seeing your maybe 40-year-old self coming like right in front of you for you to be able to talk and ask all these questions and what that dynamic is. And then when she leaves, like what do you do with the information? I thought that
Right.
was really well done. And why it was really well done because they spend the first like say 10, 15 minutes showing how this girl was before she met her older self, how
Hmm.
selfish she was, how she wasn't respecting her family, how she kind of was just kind of sleeping around and stuff like that, which is
Hmm.
fine. You have the right to do
What you
that.
gotta do?
How things change when she got the information. I just thought
Right.
that was really, really dope. And by the end of it, you know what me, if you can make me cry, you're at least getting a 3.5 out of stars for me. And
Yeah.
this movie was great, and then it made me cry at the end as well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. It
talk
caught
about
me.
my old
They
ass.
got me. Yeah. By the end of my old ass, like I was definitely in tears. But not like oh my god, but like the like
Yeah.
man, that's wild that happened. Kind of tears. You know what I mean? So, but I agree with everything Zach said. This movie is a lot. Also, it's funny. It's another movie that's really funny. There's a lot of good and funny moments in this film, and there's a lot about like it's it's like a late stage coming of age type of film. Like there, I think the thing that the film kind of helped me recognize is that coming of age happens at many different ages. You know what I mean? It's like there's situations in every age bracket where you gotta like make that switch or make or mature in these situations. So, but yeah, but this movie is fantastic. I mean, Plaza is great in it. So is our main actress. Although Aubrey Plaza, I'm having a hard time saying that, is on the poster. She is barely in the movie. However, when
Mm.
she is in the movie, it is the most impactful things that happened in the film. So I highly recommend watching it.
Which is smart filmmaking.
Yeah.
Because obviously this is a low budget ass film, right? Like
Hmm.
they didn't have a lot of money,
Yeah.
but they made sure to use their star sparingly throughout
Yeah.
because they probably couldn't afford for her to be there all the time because Aubrey
Right.
Plaza is hot right now. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like everybody wants her. So
Yeah.
I think that's really smart filmmaking. I am excited to check out this particular director and writer's um kind of rest of her movies. I think this is her second film.
Hmm.
And I love that this is based on something that happened to her in terms of like obviously she didn't really see her older self, but she had a
Right.
crazy trip where she
Yeah.
felt like she thought she saw her older self.
Yeah. What the
Yeah, man.
conclusion ends up being is actually really satisfying, and I was
Yeah.
very happy with it. So yeah.
Yeah, because what she was warning her about, I was like, oh, I already know what this is about. And then it
Hmm.
was not that. And then what they did with that just made it much better. And I like that you talked about the coming of age because coming of age stories and a lot of coming of age movies are on my top 10, top 15 list this year. A lot of time it's just like when you're 15, 16, 17, 18,
Right.
sometimes your early 20s, but you're coming of age continuously because you
Hmm.
shift 10 years. There's a whole new experiences that you have learned. Your brain starts changing.
Yeah.
Um, Things that I said in high school is like, I'm never gonna stop playing video games every day. And
Hmm.
I'm in my 30s now, and I do not do
Yeah.
that, right? Like I do not play video games every day.
No,
I'm
20 to 25.
It's
Actually,
crazy.
20 to 22. But like 20 to 25 and 25 to 30 are completely different human beings. Like
Yeah.
I can't even express to you how dumb I was when I was 20 to 25. Like it's absolutely insane. And yeah, so there's a lot of coming of age.
Yeah, man. Let's see. Is my old ass on streaming services? Yes, I put it here. It's on Prime Video.
Hmm.
Hey, it's Butts Unplugged with a new picture. What's up,
Woo!
man?
What's up, dude? Good to see you.
CC said my old ass is solid. It's much funnier than I thought it would be. Yes,
Yeah, it's
it
very
is.
funny.
I thought it was gonna have like Gen Z comedy, which it does, but I
Yeah,
thought it was gonna be like
also.
Gen Z comedy that I didn't get, but I got. It was written really well.
Yeah.
And the supporting cast was great. The Saoirse Ronan thing was hilarious. With her little brother and the pictures on the wall.
Oh yeah,
Saoirse
yeah, yeah,
Ronan,
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
I thought that all that stuff was great.
Yeah.
Now in terms of where you feel like it should go, this is
Um, I would say matinee.
matinee. That's fair. That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
It's a good
There's
movie,
nothing
but it's a good movie.
super
Yeah.
theatrical about it,
Hmm.
but it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
Definitely glad that I saw it in theaters because there were some reactions in the crowd that really was great. Like one girl couldn't like this affected her a lot. She couldn't
Yeah.
control herself, and she was like right in front of me. I was like, wow. And then there was two people talking about like, oh my god, like I feel this.
Hmm.
I think one of them was 40 and one of them was like literally like 20. So like it was hitting both of them in different ways. So yeah,
Yeah.
great movie.
Mm-hmm.
How are you guys? We're doing really, really
Oh,
good.
doing pretty well. My Eagles won today, so that's always
Oh
good.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm always in a
Hey,
good mood
I won a
when the
world
Eagles win.
championship in my WWE universe. I'm good.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. Up next is a movie that only you saw, so I'm going to read off the description, and because I didn't get a chance to see this today, is "Don't Move." When a killer injects her with a paralytic, paralytic,
Paralytic.
paralytic, yeah, agent, a woman must run, fight, hide before her body completely shuts down. Talk about "Don't Move."
Don't Move was the scariest situation imaginable. This woman who's just like this woman who's basically just living her life. She's got some trouble. She's got some things going on, and then along comes a stranger who has terrible intentions, basically a serial killer, coming after her, and he injects her with this paralytic, and now she has to survive like through like I think it's like 6 to 8 hours of not being like her bodily functions starting to shut down, and her trying to like reach help before she can't speak anymore, right?
Mm,
Or try to signal people, or use a little bit of motor skills that she has left in different situations, so she can actually like try to get away from this serial killer. And it's absolutely like it's a great watch. It's a fun watch. I would say it's definitely worth your time. I think it's only like an hour and a half, so it's a good short watch. But yeah, I had no like issues with it or anything like that. I think overall it's a good, fine movie. Yeah.
that sounds good. And
Oh, the lead
TC seems
actress is great.
to,
The lead actress
yeah,
and the person who was doing the
serial
serial
killing.
killing. Like he was great too. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff, a lot of good tense set pieces and stuff like that. They really make you not. They really make you feel like this could happen. Like it's not like far fetched. Like
Mm,
something just like out of the blue. Like there's no like last minute saves kind of thing where it's like that's completely unrealistic. Like everything that happens makes sense for the story.
makes
So
sense.
I never really got taken out of the movie at all.
That's I love when movies doesn't, that gets you immersed and get you locked in
Hmm.
and you don't get thrown out.
Yeah,
And Cece looks like she says, "Yeah, I vibe with Don't Move. Wasn't mind blowing experience, but I enjoyed it." So she agrees with you.
yeah. It's
Okay.
on the flicks. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, on the flicks, not the hub, on the flicks.
Yep.
Where's this on your letterbox?
Oh,
Bridget?
that's a good question. That's a good question. I'm feeling
You,
stream because it is a streaming movie.
yeah.
But yeah,
Would
so
you have been mad to watch this in the movie theater if it
no,
was? Like, would you say
no.
no?
If I
Would you
went
say
to
it's
the
a
theater and saw
matinee?
this, not.
You think Stream is good? Right.
Yeah, like if you're watching it with friends, it's probably better in the theater. But if you're watching it
Mm,
by yourself, it's probably better to watch at home.
gotcha.
I don't know.
That's
So
true.
I have it currently at 59 on my letterbox list. Just to go through the other ones, I have Hundreds of Beavers at 10, and I have what's the other one? Don't
My old
that
ass.
I have that at 24. Oh,
Gotcha.
that's way too high. Sorry.
That's way too high.
Sometimes I go through this
I
thing
You're
where
like,
like
wait, why do I have this here?
yeah, I would like rank something. I like something I just saw. I really had a good time with it. I rank it really high, and then the next time I see my list, I'm like, "What am I talking about?" Like it's good, but it's not that good. Like I had it in front of Smile Two. I'm like, no, that's not. It's not better than Smile Two.
Smile wasn't this month, right?
Smile was last month, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I think
Um,
so. I have Hundreds of Beavers at 15, and I
no,
have
it is.
my old ass at 18. Is that 18?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 18. And what was the other movie we just did? How I forget already. Oh, I didn't. I haven't seen Don't Move.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And look, we got
Yeah.
somebody else that liked it. What's up, gentlemen?
Hey, what's
Don't
up,
sleep
movie
on
files?
movie files. Holy crap! What's up? Thanks for coming in the live stream. I've been following this guy for a while. Great
Yeah,
reviewer. I get put on by a lot of
phenomenal.
movies from him. I think I
Mhm.
watched Israel because of him, and I really enjoyed that. We both watched it. I got a screener because he said how good it was. So I applied for it and got it. What's up,
Yeah.
Israel? I mean, Israel Movie Files.
Mhm.
What's up, gentlemen? People slept on Don't Move. I really enjoyed it. After seeing Finn Whitrock, that's his name, in American Horror Story, and this, he would be the perfect casting for the new American Psycho remake. I was just about to say that he
I
would
can
be
see that
great in that.
because
Yeah,
he's very cold um,
yeah.
in this movie. But yeah,
He
it's
has that psychopath kind of
yeah. But he also has like
angle.
that uh what is the word I'm looking for?
Charisma, charming.
Charisma. He is also very charismatic, so you can see how people would fall into his web, if you will.
Mm. A lot of people were saying Jacob Elordi. Is that how you say his name is?
The guy
From
from
Euphoria
Euphoria.
and Priscilla. He's been in a couple different things.
hmm
They're saying that he's the front runner for it, but we'll see.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that's the easy choice.
hmm
The next movie is a classic film, movie that we both saw together because a sequel for it was coming out, and that is a Gladiator set in Roman
hmm
times. The story of a once powerful general forced to become a common gladiator. The emperor's son is enraged when he's passed over as the heir in favor of his father's favorite general. He kills his father and arranges the murder of the general's family. And the general is sold into slavery to be trained as a gladiator, but his subsequent popularity in the arena threatens the throne. Yeah, man, Gladiator 1. I
Question for you,
found
real
this
quick.
very interesting because it took us 2 days to watch this one.
Yeah.
And tell him why it took us 2
This
days to
guy,
watch this.
this guy fell asleep. I'm like, yo, Maximus is wild and Commodus is going crazy. He's like, and I know Zach. Like Zach is very responsive when he watches movies. I'm like, this dude's not saying anything, and that person just got bit. Like so, like there's all kinds of stuff going on. But yeah, so I wanted to ask you. So we're going to talk about Gladiator 2 as well. Should we just talk about them together?
We could do that. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. But yeah, Gladiator is a classic, man. Gladiator lives up to all of the hype that it's ever been given. I have seen the movie before this year. It came out in 2000. Like you have Maximus Decimus Meridius. I'm pretty sure I got that wrong. And Russell Crowe is absolutely incredible in this film,
Magnetic.
as is Joaquin Phoenix. Like this movie. First of all, this movie impacted a bunch of different genres, namely the rap genre, because Are You Not Entertained has been playing on rap songs and albums since that movie came out as number one.
Yeah.
And also, like, I really like this movie in comparison to the second movie. And I know that you actually feel the opposite way. I like this movie in comparison to the second one because I feel like it does a better job at focusing on its main characters, right? It doesn't do a lot of like I felt like the second one had this thing where it was carrying multiple storylines or multiple characters where it was just doing this, and this. In Gladiator, it's really Maximus and Commodus. And there's some other people involved with like some of the political stuff, but that kind of only happens in behind the scenes to just kind of like give you a platform to build everything else off of. But we got so in depth with Maximus and Commodus in the first one that I actually really felt and understood why Commodus was acting the way he was acting, and I understood why Russell Crowe's Maximus, the man just wanted to go home. Like I really just want to go home. I ain't got nothing to do with y'all. I ain't got nothing to do with this. He was like anointed by Commodus's dad to take over, and then the jealousy happened, and then all this other stuff, and you kind of go down into that rabbit hole. And I thought that tight knit of a story worked a lot better for me. Gladiator 2, on the other hand, I had a lot of fun with, especially with Denzel's performance. Denzel, I was talking to my friend about this as we were coming out of the theater because we were both kind of feeling the same way. Like it was good, but it wasn't great. And part of it is like I didn't feel that connection to all these other characters, especially like Lucius and I was about to say Pontius Pilate, which is completely not well. Pedro Pascal, and Pedro Pascal. Like I think the issues that I had there with those two characters is that Pedro Pascal's character seemed to have like a lot there that could have been explored, but ultimately wasn't. And the ultimately the beef that Lucius and Pedro Pascal's character, whose name I can't remember, like the beef that they had was one sided because Pedro Pascal for 90% of the movie is like, completely unaware of the other dude. So it was kind of
Yeah,
like that tension that was built. It was kind of like once they met up finally, when they confronted one another, it didn't give me that big fight feel, if you will, because it was kind of like by the time that they met, one of them wasn't even trying to fight, right? So,
yeah,
um, so like a lot of that stuff um, was kind of why I didn't like it. And I was asked, me and my friend had a question like, if Denzel Washington was not in this movie, if somebody else was cast in this movie, would you like it as much, or would it even be quote unquote solid okay? And I was like, I don't know if this movie is good without Denzel, right? So, but that was my experience, of course. But Sharks in the Coliseum, awesome,
amazing.
awesome.
Rhinos in the Coliseum,
Rhinos in the Coliseum, you know what I mean?
CGI
That
monkeys down.
yeah. And the credit I'll give this movie before I hand it over to Zach is that last 45 minutes, the swell of tension that builds up, mainly caused by Denzel, chef's kiss. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah,
But a lot of that still, Lucius is kind of like an afterthought. You know what I mean? Like it's literally all about what Denzel is doing. So yeah, yeah, those were my kind of experiences with it.
yeah, and it's funny because like I think both films are equally great. I
Mhm.
think that I have issues with both of them, and with Gladiator one, my issue is you talk about Denzel. If Russell Crowe wasn't casted as Maximus, I don't know
Mhm.
if I would like the movie as much. If you take that, the performances is what saved this film because the plot is thin as fuck, right? Like
Mhm.
Joaquin Phoenix and Russell Crowe, are the reason why this movie is great because they
Yeah.
take these characters that are well written, but elevate them to all timers. Like these are two all timer characters for me already, right?
Mhm.
But the reason why I fell asleep was one, Kenny's a nocturnal man, right? He watches
Yep.
movies late at night. He edits videos late at night. He can function after 12. I'm an old ass man. Once 12, maybe even 11:30 start hitting, I'm starting to hit the hay. So we started
Yeah.
this movie at like 12:30. The movie's almost 3 hours. We were like an hour and change in, and
Mhm.
I was too tired to be watching a long ass movie at that time, right? So
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons I fell asleep. But also, I just think that there was a lot of slower parts in the film, especially before Russell Crowe gets sold off as a slave. Because I think
Mhm.
I fell asleep like right when he was getting ready to start fighting and being a slave.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally, because I remember
No.
when
Yeah.
Ryan was
Yeah. I
coming
remember
back,
that.
he
Yep.
was getting out of the cage.
Mhm.
And it was like a lot of slow parts where I just didn't care because the supporting cast is not strong, right? Like there was a one guy that was supporting him, but he's barely in the movie, and I was really interested in him, and he kind of came in, did what he had to do for Russell Crowe, and then
Yep. He froze. He froze. All right. So I think he's talking about Jamin Hutsu. Hunsu.
to me.
As a character.
Oh, I'm back. Am
You're
I
kind of
back?
back. Yep. You're back.
Okay. Sorry, guys. My internet has been acting up.
Mhm.
I was saying not just Dihan Hansu. It was this guy who was not. He like told him to go get like a before they took him to go kill him. He was talking to him. It was like his hope. It was like his confidant.
Oh, the guy. Yeah. Tibbs
Yeah,
from
I
Sons of
liked him, but they
Anarchy.
didn't really use him that much, and I didn't
Mhm.
think Dijon was used that much either.
Yeah.
So that's like the dichotomy. The first Gladiator, is theatrical, it's epic, it looks great. We talked about how films are not made like this no more, and that was like the basis of my review.
Yeah. Yep.
In terms of it taking its time, the texture, the feel,
Mhm.
the lived inness of it, like it just feels like a big event kind of film, and the whole time in the movie, I was like, just let this man go home. He just wants to go
Right.
home. Leave
Yeah.
him alone. Like you remember, I
Let
kept
the man go
saying
home.
this. Why they won't let this man just go home? And
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix was a big ass baby, but a very entertaining, very devious one. That
Right.
Game of Thrones needs to be thankful because he was doing incest stuff, and now they capitalize
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
it.
He was trying for sure.
He was trying for sure. Joaquin Phoenix was phenomenal. I think the only thing, other negative thing, is that I think the action wasn't edited that great in certain big scenes. But those are minor nitpicks for the magnetic performances and the way they set everything up to get you so invested in the
Yeah.
revenge part of the film that it was like,
Hmm.
by the time Joaquin and then got into the arena, I was like, let's go,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Uh, on the second half, Gladiator 2, and I think Sully Streams made a really good point of saying, this is while Gladiator 1 is like classical music, this is more punk rock. And I
Hmm.
think that's a very apt um comparison because this one's quicker, it's flashier, it has better action, it has more interesting supporting characters, in my opinion. I actually like the plot a little bit more, but it lacked the emotional investment that I had in Russell Crowe's and Joaquin Phoenix characters. Like I had
Yeah.
some investment in Denzel, and I had some investment in Paul Mescal and Pedro Pascal. Like I had like little pockets of investment in
Yeah.
each character, but to have that deep investment in it in like one character is really what helps a movie, and it just wasn't there. I think Paul Mescal is a great actor. I just don't think that his character was written to bring out his all of his best abilities.
Hmm.
There was like moments of here and there where he shined with some rage, but I think they like Ridley Scott just let him play the character way too calm. Right, like
Yeah.
he was just too calm throughout the movie in certain moments where I think he should have held a lot of rage. And I talked about how like with Russell Crowe felt like a real masculine energy, and it
Hmm.
grabbed me, which was
Yeah.
really funny because when I said that, someone commented, it was like, "Oh, how you feel masculine energy? You look like a beta." Go on my Gladiator review, and go flame that guy. Already did, but just pile on them. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're glad that so that was missing. But the connivingness of all the characters, the back and forth, all the intricacies, I was like locked in. I was like, where is this going?
Hmm.
Because I knew where Gladiator 1 was going, right? Like
Yeah.
from the offset. You know where this is ending.
Hmm.
I didn't know where Gladiator 2 was ending. I didn't know how this was all gonna go.
Yeah.
Once Pedro Pascal and what happens with his character happens, I was like, oh, so yeah, like this is kind of unpredictable now because I thought this was gonna go somewhere else and now
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love both movies equally, but I can recognize that Gladiator is a better made film. I think
Mhm.
that the plot for that film is just better.
Yeah.
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 In
Let's check
terms
out these
of
comments. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
like both film, what you said? Sorry.
No, I was saying let's check out these comments, but no, let's do the ranking
Yeah, Gladiator's IMAX
for sure.
for sure. I think Gladiator 2 is a full price film.
For sure.
I like my old ass better, but I think in terms of theatrical experience, Gladiator 2.
Well, you know what? My old ass is way better than Gladiators, in my opinion. But
Hey, I have Gladiator 2 at 43, right? Like
yeah, I only have
compared to
Gladiator
my old
two spots
ass.
behind it, but that's yeah, I only have Gladiator 2. Oh, what am I doing? I need to change some of this stuff.
That's part of these streams, him fixing his letterbox when he
I got
realized it.
Gladiator 2 in front of Transformers 1. I must be smoking all the crack. Um, but yeah. But yeah, I would say full price makes sense for sure.
Yeah, full price definitely makes sense. It was worth it just for the fun of the movie. Overall, the movie is a lot more fun than the
Hmm.
original Gladiator. But the first Gladiator is just epic cinematic achievement.
Yeah.
Absolutely one of the most influential films ever.
Yeah. Last thing on Paul Mescal, throughout the film, I could see him. I was kind of fan casting him as Wolverine by the end of the movie.
Mm,
That low ground, like low to the ground fighting stance that he had, and everything that he was doing, even like the angle slam that he took, like it was like all
that was
that
great.
stuff was that was awesome. All that stuff that was happening with him in his fighting style and like his look too. Like he might need to
Yeah.
put on a little bit more muscle, but I really do see him potentially being like the next Wolverine. But unfortunately, Hugh Jackman will be playing that role until he's 90, so you never know.
Yeah, we're not gonna get a proper MCU
Hmm.
Wolverine for a long time.
Yeah.
Let's see what they have to say. Like you said,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
I had to rewind Gladiator a few times myself. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Hmm.
Hell yes, Gladiator is a classic. It didn't connect with me as much, but it's definitely a classic. I get hyped for sure, and I'm glad that you said that. A lot of people don't understand that. Like a movie can you can see like, oh yeah, this is a classic, but
Right.
you can understand also that it doesn't connect with me. This is not my
Right.
favorite movie.
Yeah.
But I understand why people like this movie.
Yeah. 100%.
Also, because it's kind of that thing of like, oh, okay, there's movies I've seen like this, because I didn't see this when it originally came out, but there's movies I've seen like this I like more, but I can see how it influenced them. So I see why it's a classic.
Yeah,
Because if I would have saw this first, I probably would have liked this more.
right. Yeah, that
Uh,
makes total sense.
Gladiator's an all timer.
Agreed.
What? Zach fell asleep shaking my head. Yeah, yo, man.
Yeah,
Like,
man, we old.
you should know, man. Collector, you around my age. Come on, stop playing with me. I really did not like the second one. I mainly only liked it because of Pedro Pascal and Connie Nielsen. I really didn't like the actor who's supposed to be portraying his son, Paul Mescal. That's fair. I've
The
heard that.
sun angle was a stretch for me, by the way, but that's neither here nor there.
His what?
The sun angle was a stretch for me.
Yeah, they just
Yeah,
pulling that shit.
yeah.
um, in a different universe, this is the best movie of the year because it has all the elements to be a better movie.
Mm.
Give it a 3-hour film. Don't make Paul Mescal Maximus'
There's
son.
potential here for sure.
You play on all the stuff that you started with each character, and like
Yeah.
really write it really well. It could have been a top tier, top
Also,
three
make
film.
the twin emperors actually intimidating in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I can see that. I liked it. If they were going to make Denzel the way he was, it makes sense not to make those making them jokes because it's easy
Hmm.
for him to maneuver what he needed to maneuver. But
Yeah.
and I thought Denzel Washington wasn't Denzel Washington level. Interesting. I don't agree,
Really?
but interesting.
I don't agree with that at all. I thought he was the saving grace of the movie.
I hated the monkeys. They looked like dogs on
That
steroids.
was
That's why I
weird.
liked them.
That was weird. Because I honestly I felt like, what kind of supernatural stuff is this? Like I couldn't even tell
Yeah,
what
it
it
was
was at first.
weird.
But but the way that they bit homeboy, that was vicious.
That was vicious. That was some good CGI work because it looked real.
Hmm.
I feel like they try to lean on the impact of the first one too much. It felt like Pascal versus Mescal's character. Yeah, they kind of took apart
Yes.
Maximus and split them amongst them two.
Yeah.
Like they were,
Yes.
if you put them
Yeah.
together,
That's a great
they're
observation.
they're
Yeah.
Maximus.
They are
Great
Maximus if you
observation.
put them together. Yep.
I feel like they thought, oh, Lucius was enough, but no, Denzel did his thing. Yeah, he
Yeah.
did. I'm not sure where she said, "Oh, say less." I'm not sure what this was a response to, but
Hmm. Hmm.
I enjoyed Gladiator 2 more than I expected to. First of all, what's up,
What's up,
Zach?
Zach?
I'm glad that you did. Gladiator 2 was cool, but I don't think I would go back to it again anytime soon. That's totally fair.
Yeah. I think I'm more likely to look up scenes with Denzel in it on YouTube
Mm,
to rewatch those to just see Denzel have a great, like his scenes where he has a
gotcha.
good performance.
Yeah, I can see myself rewatching the film, but I'll probably fast forward a little bit through certain things just so I
Hmm.
can get to some of the action scenes and things like that I like.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch the
Uh,
Coliseum Shark thing.
yeah, or even the initial fight was crazy.
Yeah.
Um, the next film that we're going to be talking about is a film that maybe not many of you heard of, but I think you should check out because it's very short. And it's called Look Back. If you're not eating, can you read the synopsis?
Yep. Based on the acclaim, based on the acclaimed manga, it's manga, guys, not manga. Based on the acclaimed manga by Tatsuki Fujimoto, the creator of Chainsaw Man, Look Back captures the highs and lows of pursuing artistic excellence. Fujino and Fujino and Koyomoto
Yamamoto. Yeah.
couldn't be more different. Yet their shared passion for drawing manga unites these two small town girls.
Okay. I want to talk about that part of the descriptions that says that they could be more different because Kenny over here
Yep.
told me he couldn't tell them apart.
It got to a point in the movie. So basically, long story short, the movie's really good. It's only 50 minutes, which is really
Yeah.
interesting too, because it feels a lot longer than 50
Yeah.
minutes. But they get a lot of work done in those 50 minutes, and honestly, the I don't know if you want to call it plot twist at the end. I don't think it's a plot twist, but the circumstance that occurs at the end of the film really brought this different dynamic to the movie. that I really appreciated because I did not expect that whatsoever. And it turns out that it's based on the writer's real life circumstances, real life situation. They are the
Oh, I didn't know
writer
that.
of the anime Chainsaw Man, and the events that happened at the end of the movie actually happened to her.
Oh shit!
So this is actually a autobiography, so to speak. Not autobiography, but it is a real
Like a
life telling
slice
of
of
what
his their
happened.
life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. There is. Did you ever hear about that? The fire at that anime studio from a
yeah.
few years ago.
Oh
Mhm.
wow!
Yeah. So, and it was arson. So,
Holy crap!
but yeah. So, but yeah. But at one point in the film, the characters they kind of go their separate ways in a sense, and somehow, some way, I could not tell them apart. There's like a montage sequence where they were both doing something, and I'm like, which one is this? Which one is that? And by the time the situation happens at the end, that we're talking about the turning point, I was like, wait, so who? You know what I'm saying? So I was really confused. However, Gama, I will say that this is a really beautiful film about relationships, about what art can do for you in terms of like those relationships. Also, a very beautiful moment in this film, or beautiful period of time in this film, where one of the main characters, like she loves art, but she puts it down for a minute and goes and lives life, and is never portrayed as a negative thing. It's actually portrayed as like she just needs to go away for a minute. She just needs to get away from it for a minute. YouTubers, like she just needs to go away and like do other
I
stuff,
think.
right? And it's
Yeah,
never portrayed as negative. It's always portrayed like, and it's also portrayed as she may never come back to it, and her life will be totally fine,
fine.
right? But
Yep.
she does come back to it through circumstances, and it's like, okay, cool. This is just another facet of life, right? So I really enjoyed this movie. Like I said, it's only 50 minutes. It's on Prime. Zach, what did you think about it?
Yeah, I think I really like that you brought that up. Am I pointing at you? Is it this way? I don't know.
Yeah, the other way. There you go.
Okay. I really like what you pointed out in terms of like stepping away from something you love and it being okay. Because in a lot of movies that's shown as negative, how
Hmm.
could you do that? You're wasting your gifts.
Right.
And that was kind of a theme with that character throughout the movie because she was even obsessed in the beginning with
Yep.
drawing and it was hurting her life in a negative way.
Yeah.
And she was getting ready to step away from it. And then she didn't because of this other character. And it just, the way it shows relationships, how you can have a platonic relationship with someone in a very fruitful and romantic way, but it's not sexual.
Right.
I thought was really, really interesting.
Hmm.
How this character who's has friends and hangs out and not popular, but like not bullied and not a loser either, kind of
Yeah.
connects with this character who is so anxiety ridden she can't even go to school.
Right.
Like she has to be homeschooled because she's so anxiety ridden. Pulls her out of that, and they
Hmm.
build this relationship. And I thought it was going to be boring to watch, but it was really lovely seeing them build their relationship together.
Yep.
And this year has been defined by a bunch of different things, and I think like certain horror movies and how they did that. But I think the power of art has been a really big thing in film between
Mhm.
Sing Sing,
Oh yeah.
Ghostlight.
Hmm.
There's another movie I'm not forgetting right. I'm not like, remembering right now, but this is also like the powerful art, how it can push you and how it can bring people together. I think that
Hmm.
does that really well. And like you said, that the movie does feel longer than it actually is. It's only 50 minutes. It doesn't feel like it's dragging. It just feels like there's
No.
so much happening in the
Yeah.
film that you were there for over an hour.
Right.
So by the time it ends, you're like, oh, okay, this was good. And you're looking like, wait, this was under an hour? How did they do this under
Yeah.
an hour? There's no fat. It's
None.
no fat in this. It's lean. They get everything they need to get done. It all makes sense. It feels like it was gonna be like an anime episode at first, so I got a little worried. But then because people were hyping it up on Letterbox, I was like, nah, there's something to this.
Hmm.
Better than what I think this is happening here. And then that twist that you're talking about, or that
Yeah.
that thing that happens in the plot, I was like, oh, and it was just executed so well and elevated the movie to another level for me. Because
Yep.
at first I was like, this is solid, and then I was like, wait, I love this because of what they
Hmm.
just pulled off,
Yeah.
especially that scene that you're talking about that was reflective of the writer's life.
Hmm.
Yeah, I highly recommend it, especially since it's a quick watch, just like Don't Look, but even shorter. It's like
Very
30
much
minutes
shorter.
shorter than that
Like
movie.
40 minutes shorter.
Yeah, 40 minutes shorter. Definitely check it out if you are a fan of like anime style. You don't have to be a fan of anime. I don't
Hmm.
feel like it dwells into anime tropes too much.
No, not at all.
But if you like the animation style, it's beautiful. Definitely go check it out. If you love story about friendship and doesn't have to turn into like a lovey-dovey thing, it's just like friendship, which we don't get a lot. I say
Hmm.
definitely check this out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, I would say because the short nature of this is a stream.
Okay.
What would you say? Would you go higher?
Quality wise, I would say it's probably like full price, but um,
So matinee.
yeah, matinee. Let's do matinee.
Yeah, 50-minute matinee, baby. You could go
Yeah.
after work,
Hmm.
go in, barely any trailers, get out and get home in a good time.
Or like go watch that, and then go to your next movie.
Yeah, true. It's like a quick cleanser. That would be a
Yeah,
great like triple feature. Like you
yeah.
watch the movie, you watch this in between, short, quick, sweet,
Hmm.
nice, cleanse you from whatever you just watched, and then get into the next one.
Yeah, remember those Pokemon animated movies where they used to have that little short before that?
Yeah, it's kind of like
Hmm.
that.
Yep.
The next movie, I know that we also have a difference of opinions on it, like we did with Gladiator 2. And this one is Heretic
Had a
or Heretic. One of those
hmm
two. Two young missionaries become ensnared in a deadly game of cat and mouse when they knock on the door of the diabolical Mr. Reed. Trapped in his home, they must turn to their faith if they want to make it out alive. Kenneth Sparkleton Jr.
mm, mm,
Talk about Heretic.
So I know we have a difference of opinion on the third act of the film, but for the
Yeah,
first two acts of the movie, I had a really good time.
yeah.
I love the yep. I love the way that Mr. So I love the actresses as well as Hugh Grant's portraying the antagonist of the film. I love how smart it was and how much it didn't rely on horror tropes for at least the first hour of this film. The first hour of this film is just filled
Hmm.
with tension. Where yes, there is some tension behind the girls being kind of trapped in a situation that they don't want to be in, but a lot
Hmm.
of that tension and a lot of that intrigue comes from conversation that they're having, debates or just like little itty bitty like mini sub conversations about faith, reality, what you believe, what you don't believe, iteration. They talk a lot about like iterations of faith and stuff like that. And one of the things I love the most about this film is the fact that Mr. Reed, who has his perspective on like faith and religion and stuff like that, doesn't go unchallenged. Right? There's a part in the film where the girls are like, "No, I don't believe that," and what you're saying here doesn't make any sense. And then then he challenges their beliefs. So it's not one of these things where it's like just a one sided conversation. The problem is he's holding these people hostage. So there is kind of like, so there is that issue.
That's the main problem.
Yeah, that's kind of a problem. But yeah, so I really did enjoy the majority of this movie all the way up until I want to say like the last literally 15 to 20 minutes, probably 15 to 10 minutes of this movie where I kind of felt like all of the dependence on reality that it built. Like if somebody got cut, right, they were really hurt. If somebody like fell down the stairs, they really like experienced that. If there's a trap or a situation or like a door closing here or there, like that happened. Like there wasn't a lot of like Hollywood kind of like conveniences, and then
Mhm.
at the end of the movie, it just kind of turned into a bunch of Hollywood conveniences. It was like, oh, guess what? They're not really right. Isn't that cool? It's like, y'all built all this equity on this situation being as real as possible, and then y'all like completely turned the corner at a point.
Yeah.
So on that, and it just became Hollywood convenient. It almost felt like, oh shit, I need to end this movie. Bop, 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 the end. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but overall, it's a really good movie. I had a really good time with it. Just the ending was kind of like that felt unsatisfactory for the kind of story that they were telling.
Yeah. And I have kind of I feel what you're saying, and I have a little bit of that in there. I'm mixed on the ending. I think when I watch it again, I'll really feel how like I like see again. Like I gotta see it again
Hmm.
and watch it at home and see if it holds my. I'm pretty sure it'll hold my attention because I think
Yeah.
it's a movie that really holds your attention just
Yeah.
from that opening conversation the two girls have, which was
Oh
hilarious.
yeah, yeah, that was a good one.
Um, I love the movie. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. I think Hugh Grant was fantastic, and if horror wasn't snubbed at Oscars and all the award shows, he would be nominated as supporting
Yeah.
or lead actor. I don't know which one they would choose for him. And I thought
Hmm.
the girls were great as well. They both showed two very different personalities. For both having the same faith and things like that. A lot of times they just group people like that together and they kind of are the same.
Hmm.
And I think that all the conversation that you said about iteration and faith and everything that they did was mind blowing, right? Like these are things that I've kind of dipped my toe into in terms of thinking about and discussion, but the in depth way that they went into it really, really, really spoke to me as someone that's like agnostic, right?
Hmm.
And I also liked that they didn't make the people who were missionaries dumb in terms of like arguing and being
Yeah.
annoying and because like the way like I'm not religious, but it does annoy me that a lot of religious people in film are portrayed as either bad guys or annoyed almost all the time in
Right.
Hollywood flicks. Like the
Right.
only time that they're not portrayed like that is when they make the movie and it's like Hallmark, so it's not like
Yeah.
a big production.
Which
And
is also
yeah,
equally annoying. But
yeah. But I feel
yeah.
like there are a lot of good people who are
Yeah.
religious, so, like, they should have representation in films
Yeah.
too. Like, Russians are always bad guys, like, that type of thing. Like, it
Yeah.
shouldn't be like that, you
Hmm.
know what I mean? So I like that they did that, and I thought they executed well. The twist and turns the film took, especially, like, when they got locked in deeper into the house and that thing
Yep.
that happened with the lady and
Hmm.
everything. So now with the ending, I felt like that was a discussion on, like, was this a miracle? Was this I think they were playing on the whole faith-based aspect of it, and that's where the tropey stuff comes in.
Hmm.
Um, so I think on that will make or break the film for everyone because the reviews for this movie is all up and down. I see some people who are like 5-star classic, and I see some people who are like this shit's trash. And obviously you're not there; you're like in the middle. But I really enjoyed it. I was a little disappointed that it went down like a tropey part. I was hoping that the ending was different from everything I've ever seen, but
Hmm.
so much of it is so great that I didn't bog it down by the ending because
Yeah.
the ending wasn't like terrible. Like if it was, Topher Grace is in this movie, if he would have came back and did something, that would have ruined the movie for me. I don't know how
Yeah.
it is trash, but because they didn't do something like that, I
Hmm.
still give it points.
Yeah. 100%.
Because yeah, Topher Grace, who got the easiest check I ever seen.
I didn't even
Um,
know that was Topher Grace until you guys mentioned it.
yeah, exactly. I'd have been like, damn. To me, this is a full price, and it's better
Hmm.
than Gladiator 2.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He's
Absolutely.
oh yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, guys in the chat, if you have seen it, let me know. I put a poll up asking which ones you guys are going to watch first, and that is either Look Back or Heretic. 100% of the votes are for Heretic, so that's cool.
That's good.
And also just let you know, because I know you can't see the polls. I said, what would you rate Don't Move as one? It got a 75% was B, so a lot of people
Okay.
actually like that movie in the
Yeah.
chat at least.
Yeah. That's a good
And
movie.
I said, "Are you already going to check out My Old Ass?" Ha ha ha. And 60% said yes, 20% said no, and 20% said I like your ass, Zach. Um,
Wow.
yeah,
Wait. I'm sorry. You put that as an option?
yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
He's interesting. Okay, so the next couple movies are movies that I only saw, so I'm gonna run through them because I don't want Kenny just
Sure.
staying here. If you have questions for me in the live chat about these movies, and Kenny, if you have any questions about these movies as well, let me
Mhm.
know.
Oh wait, we do have some comments on Heretic, and we want to get to those.
Oh, oh, I'm out here missing stuff, and also I think Kal-El got in here too. I didn't even acknowledge that either.
Ow.
She said, "Oh, I said say less to whoever the troll was on your Gladiator review. Oh, I appreciate you.
Oh yeah,
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 give him
yeah,
that
yeah,
CC sass. I just got invited by my nephew. Oh, your nephew watches my YouTube channel? I didn't know that. That's dope.
What's up?
What's up, people? Happy holidays. Happy holidays. Yeah, word. Happy holidays to everybody in the chat.
Happy holidays.
Let's see everybody saying hi to each other. Love to see it.
Hmm.
Triple feature. Who's pulling that off? I did a triple feature last year. Was it Thanksgiving? I think it might have been on Thanksgiving. I think I saw Wish, Napoleon, and
Oh
something
my,
else.
oh my god! From what I
I can't
hear,
hear you.
Wish wasn't too good either. So that
Wish was good. Well,
okay,
for me, it
okay,
wasn't great, but it was
yeah.
good. Napoleon was not.
Woo! Napoleon was garbage.
Yeah, The Wish was my last movie because I saw that with my friend Clay, and then I
Hmm.
saw the other two before that.
The most
Um,
I've done over these past couple years is just double features.
yeah, I might be doing a triple again Christmas.
There is a
Nosferatu,
triple
Baby
for
Girl,
yeah.
yeah, and I think something else is coming out that
There's a triple
day.
available for sure.
Let's see. Here's my top 10 for the year: Wicked, Conclave, Dune, and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Hmm.
Conclave is really good.
I need to
Did
see
that
that.
come out this month? I don't
I
think so.
have it through my resources, but so I'll check it out at some point.
Through my resources is hilarious. Did I forget to put Conclave on here? Hold on. Wait a minute. When did this come out?
I
October.
think,
Oh my god.
yeah, I think it was.
It came out at the end of the month of October. That's why I felt like it came out in November.
Right.
I love Heretic. I've been struggling with my faith this year, and it was right on time. Perfect. That's amazing.
Word. What's up?
There are some funny moments too that I loved. Oh yeah, the movie was surprisingly funny.
There's a
Um,
lot of funny movies
I,
this year.
yeah, I know. I don't know if it was the writing or improv, but it was genius either way. It
Hmm.
probably was a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I wasn't satisfied by the ending, but overall, well done.
Also, there's a big thing about like Monopoly in the movie. I own like 10, 15 different versions of Monopoly. So I was very in on that.
Yeah, and then the fact that I don't even want to spoil that. Just go watch Heretic. It's a
Hmm.
great movie. Zach, facts. When in that time when it's cool to demonize religious, the irony is becoming tropey for sure. Yeah, it's all the time. Even in movies where they're doing like not demon summonings, but like exorcisms,
Yeah.
they still treat the Christian people like dumb or like
Hmm.
not great people.
Yeah.
I just find that weird.
I'll be right back.
Um, yeah, do you think? Here's my top 10 so far. Oh, okay. Kingdom Planet Apes, Superman, The Christmas Restory. That guy just got on Max and you check that out. Oh, A Cat's Life, Anora, Challengers, and Bad Boys 4. Nice. Topher Grace in that episode of Twilight Zone, so good. Also, he bodied his part in Predators. Didn't see either of those. Good List Collective Movie Man. Not the gag on Napoleon. That movie was woof. Yeah. That's a triple torture, not a triple feature, bro. You sold that. Here's my last three movies seen in theaters: The Complete Unknown, Nosferatu, and Mufasa. Nice. So yeah, this is perfect because these movies that I'm about to talk about, Kenny hasn't seen, so I'm going to go through them real quick. So we have A Different Man. An aspiring actor undergoes a radical medical procedure to drastically transform his appearance. However, his newly dreamed face quickly turns into a nightmare as he becomes obsessed with reclaiming what was lost. So this film was a film that I ended up loving. I was excited for it because A24. The trailers looked weird, and
Hmm.
Sebastian Stan is one of the best actors this year. Between this and The Apprentice, and if you saw my review of this movie, it deeply affected me in terms of the themes that it touched on. Sebastian Stan's character had this, what is it called? This thing that happened to his face where it's kind of disfigured and has all these cancer cells in his face that makes his face kind of bubbly. You've seen it in real life probably. And he is very into himself, anxiety ridden. People look at him like he's a monster sometimes. And he takes this experimental drug and it kind of like makes all that drop off and he looks like Sebastian Stan. And obviously, whoa, people consider Sebastian Stan a very attractive guy. But it turns in on him when someone with the same condition comes in, but has way more confidence than him and kind of takes all the shine that he thought he was going to have once he had the face he wanted, but he didn't really change his personality. So I like the commentary it had, very similar to The Substance in terms of the body horror and the themes, but the man version of that it's a lot calmer than The Substance as well. But they're like the brother sister in terms of what the themes are going on here. There's a little bit of show business in it. And I think Sebastian Stan gave a Oscar level performance in here. I think
Hmm.
he did a fantastic job of portraying both sides of his character with the face and without it. And then the lead actor who came in that had the actual condition in real life, he was phenomenal, right? Like he was super lovable, and the way he portrayed himself versus what we spent like 45 minutes with Sebastian Stan with that face was just it was just a great dynamic and really funny. Um, Yeah, the movie is just really, really strong. I mean, I'd highly recommend it. I don't know when it's going to hit streaming. I think it's still in theaters. Check it out. I know you're able to rent it because that's how I saw it. So yeah, A Different Man, one of the best movies of the year. Hopefully, it's a movie that starts gaining momentum for Oscars. I kind of feel like it's not because A24 is pushing for Sing Sing and The Brutalist. But hopefully, it finds its way in there as well. I think it's a great film.
Sorry.
I think everyone can find something out of it. For me, this is definitely a matinee film. I think it's better than. Where do I have it? Do I have it better than my old ass? No, I don't. I think it's better than Look Back. This is another movie about the power art, like we were just talking about before. But I think it's a really strong film. Let's see what people got to say before I get into the next film. He says, "Acknowledge me. You ain't Roman Reigns. I ain't acknowledging nothing." He said, bruh, Lion King sponsors. I don't know what that means.
I was I went to go
Oh,
grab this.
gotcha. Nice.
And yeah,
This man trying to get me
greatest thing of
email.
all time.
I want to see Different Man. It looks like a good movie. It definitely is a good movie.
I want to check that out.
Next one up is We Live in a Time, another A24 movie. Alma and Tobias are brought together by a surprise encounter that changed their lives. As they embark on a path challenged by limits of time, they learn to cherish each moment of their unconventional love story. So yeah, this movie was very interesting because it's a movie not about like a love story. It's about a movie about love and what that looks like when you love somebody. And
Mm-hmm.
it has an interesting way they put the movie together where it jumps through time. So you're seeing bits pieces of the beginning of different parts of their life, and it keeps going through the movie and each part is intertwined with each other. I thought that was an interesting way to put it, but by the end of the movie, I felt like if it was linear, you would get the same effect. I don't think jumping back and forth. Like I feel like Challengers from earlier this year did a great job with jumping back and forth, and that made that film better. I don't think that this made it better. It just made it different, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield, two of the best actors on the planet right now. They both put really strong performances here. I think Florence Pugh had more to do and it was more her vehicle than Andrew Garfield was, but he did a really great job doing what he had a chance to do, you know? And it's just a really powerful film. By the end of it, it got me a little riled up. I didn't bust a tear, so I didn't get the half star ad for the tear. But I think it's a really good movie that everyone will enjoy if you love romantic films, stories about love, seeing two people who have insane chemistry. I was like, yo, if I find out that these two are in a relationship in real life, I would not be surprised. They had insane chemistry. I think Andrew Garfield talked about during one of their sex scenes in the movie, they got so into it that they didn't hear the director call cut and they just kept going. And it was to the point where everybody was like, oh, okay, and they just walked out the room.
I heard about that in an interview. They were going for it, and they were like, "Nobody's going to stop us."
Yeah, they just kept going, and it was just like, all right. Even the cameraman was like, okay.
My only thing is, her name is Alma.
Yeah, it's just I don't know why they chose that name for this character.
Alma is crazy. Okay,
Tobias and Alma, some crazy ass names. I'm sorry, Andrew Garfield does not look like a Tobias at all. At all. But yeah, really, really strong movie. Highly recommend to watch it. It's going on streaming services this month, so be on the lookout for that. And another movie, I think another movie that I only saw, I know Kenny did not want to check out at all, was Red One. When a villain kidnaps Santa Claus from the North Pole, an elf, extremely large and formidable, operative joins forces with the world's most accomplished tracker to find him and save Christmas. I feel like I didn't put all the words into the description. Yeah, this was solid. I know it got trashed and panned, and people on Letterboxd and all the movie spaces hated it, but it's doing well at the box office. It has a solid cinema score, and it's a solid kids movie. It's not something made for people my age, but I didn't hate it, if that makes sense. It was funny enough that it kept me entertained. I liked the characters. The action was solid. The VFX was not Netflix level. A lot of people felt like it was a Netflix looking movie. It was kind of theatrical looking. And I had fun with it. I like all the Santa Claus lore, how they kind of flipped it on his head with the whole elf is like means something, and like Dwayne Johnson's an elf, and they had like jack-o'-lantern in here, and all these different things that I thought was really dope. The movie could have been great though if they would have really focused more on the lore and not be um a stereotypical Christmas movie. Like it eventually started hitting on those themes instead of like diving into the cool lore that they set up in the beginning of the movie. And some of the themes that they set up in the beginning, like there's something that's set up with Chris Evans' character as a kid that I thought was going to come back around, and it never does. And I was like, so why we spent 10 minutes on this scene, right? Like there's little things like that that holds the movie back from being great. But I thought it was a good time. It's especially if you can turn on and like just put it on in the background and come in and out and watch it. It's fun. The kids will sit there and watch it the whole time. You can come in and laugh a little bit. There's some like bits where like they can take inanimate objects and make them into real objects. Like if they get like a little car, they can make it a big car. And they're like, he grabs like a Wonder Woman doll, and he's like, that's not how it works. I thought that was funny. And yeah, all the performances were all solid. So yeah, I really enjoyed Red One. And if someone asked me to watch it again, I wouldn't be like, oh no, you know. So in terms of these movies, We Live in Time is definitely a stream. I don't know if it's better than Don't Move because I haven't seen it, so I'm gonna leave it behind there. And Red One's also definitely a stream, even though I didn't have a bad time watching it in the movies, but I can't, in good conscience, I can't recommend it to these adults in my live stream as something that you need to see in theaters. But it is a solid Christmas film.
Right.
Yeah, so those are the movies that I saw by myself. I think there's a few more that I saw by myself, but the next one is something that we both have seen, and this is going to be the first time I've seen this. Can you read this off for me, brother?
In ancient, pardon me, in ancient Polynesia, when a terrible curse incurred by the demigod Maui reaches Moana's island, she answers the ocean's call to seek out Maui to set things right.
Let's set things right. Why did you say it like that? Okay, let's talk about the first Moana.
Moana? Oh, yeah. So, I want to be honest with you. I have seen this movie. It's been probably since it came out. I have not seen this movie in several years, so I don't really remember much. I do, however, remember having a good time. I remember like the songs were awesome. I remember really enjoying the main character Moana. I remember really enjoying Moana and her like her kind of like independent like flavor that she had to her. Like she wasn't like bogged down by some like Disney prince or anything like that. She was just out here trying to live life. You know what I'm saying? Like she was just doing
Yeah,
her thing. And like the relationship that she had with her grandmother was awesome.
yeah,
And all like there's a lot. Also, got to give credit where the credit is due. Dwayne the Rock Johnson like murdered his role as Maui, and the
fantastic.
song like thank you like that he killed that song too. Like he did a really good job. But like I said, I have not seen this movie in several years. I haven't seen the second one either. But yeah, I have not seen this movie in several years. I need to rewatch it so I can watch the second one and have it at like good conscience, but or like front of mind. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's it for me.
Yeah, Moana was solid for me. I was a little disappointed watching it only because of hype, not because
Mm,
it was bad.
yeah.
The movie's been out for a couple years. The hype around this has been large, kind of like Frozen level.
Hmm.
And I'm hearing it from adults and kids. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
well, if adults like it, then that means this is like a Pixar level film.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's a Disney animated film, so it's not as deep as Pixar films are. And I felt like it was solid. It was
Mhm.
solid. I thought the songs did it moved the plot along a little bit, but it didn't move the plot along like I like.
Mhm.
I'm realizing with musicals, and we're going to be talking about a great one later, that the songs have to move the plot along. It can't
Yeah.
just be them singing their thoughts and stall the plot. That's a big
Mhm.
problem for me, and I felt like that happened in Moana. But the songs are very catchy at the same time. So,
Yep.
like you said, the rock song, "You're Welcome," loved it, great song.
Yep.
And The Rock blew my mind because it's like you can hear his voice, but he does enough
He
where it
disappears
sounds a little
to me.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a really, really great job playing that character.
Hmm.
And I'm excited to see how he pulled it off in a live action as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I really ended up loving the ending. That third act fight with the fire monster, ooh, mind blowing. Even on my damn TV, right? Like, or I might have watched this on my phone. I'm not sure. It just looked amazing, right?
Mhm.
You know these Disney movies are gonna look great. We're never gonna have a problem with animation, but every time I watch one, I'm like, this looks amazing.
Yeah.
Like their style is just amazing looking. So I love Moana as a character. I love the island. I like the conflict she had with her father about not going into the reef. I love how, like you said, she was independent. I didn't even think about that. She wasn't a princess. She also didn't have a Prince Charming holding her back. It was
Nope.
just about her doing her thing. But she also didn't like down males either.
Yeah.
She was trying to work with one, which was Maui. So I thought
Hmm.
all that was really good. The Maui's like kind of sad upbringing was also dope, like him being thrown away by his parents, and then becoming a demigod. I thought that was really, really interesting, and I wish that I would have saw a prequel of that instead of a sequel to the movie. So let's jump right into the sequel, and then we'll rank both of these. Moana 2. After receiving an unexpected call from her wayfinding ancestors, Moana journeyed to the far seas of Oceania and into dangerous, long lost waters for an adventure unlike anything she's ever faced. Right. So let's talk about the anything she's ever faced. That's a bold faced lie. Um, it's a half lie. This movie is very similar to the first one, right? Like it's
Really.
very, very similar to the first one. They kind of the first 15 to 20 minutes is just recapping the first movie. And then it takes a long time before we get to the meat and potatoes of the actual movie. And it's kind of her learning the similar lessons
Hmm.
and but not in a as good because the thing that made Moana 1 really good and resonated is she struggled a lot throughout the movie.
Yeah.
She was this perfect person. She didn't know what she was doing really, but she had the heart to do it, right?
Yeah.
That was she was the chosen one. We didn't know why she was chosen, but she was the chosen one. And Moana 2, years have passed, but like she's perfect. Like she's a superhero, right?
Mm.
And it skipped a lot of steps in the hero's journey. And I don't want to give too much away because I you can just definitely check out my review. I talk about all the things about Moana's character that bothered me. I still like her character. All the characteristics of her and what was there is there, but it's just she was just became a little too perfect. And then
Mm.
Maui as a character, instead of being like a co-lead like he was in the first one, becomes like a supporting character, which I thought was disappointing because his backstory and everything they were doing with him was so interesting, and that's all kind of pushed aside.
Yeah.
So the movie's not bad. I still enjoyed it. I laughed throughout it a little bit more than I laughed in the first one. And the action is upgraded, but it's just a step down in quality and story from the initial film.
Gotcha. Would you say so? My understanding is that this movie was originally supposed to be a television show that Bob Iger said no, it's Moana. We need to make money, and he like put all these episodes together and pretty much reshaped it into a film, or had the artists and people who are in charge of doing that kind of thing do that. Did you feel that in the movie? Like, did it feel more like a television show that was stitched together?
In some aspects, yes, some aspects, no. So it still feels like a full theatrical film, right?
Hmm.
Because the animation doesn't look like TV level animation; it looks amazing.
Hmm.
Um, the pacing of the film it feels off, and
Yeah.
I can see that is probably the result of the stitching. But if you don't know that beforehand, you won't catch that the fact that it used to be a TV show. I
Right.
think people know that beforehand and watch it and can see it. But if you don't, you're just gonna think the pacing of the movie's off.
Hmm.
And then the introduction of some of the supporting characters they added felt very TV like
Okay.
these characters that are not deep, but they're there for being funny and to be kind of like saved by Moana. It was like, all right, yeah, this is literally like episodic, and you can kind of see what the arcs of each character was supposed to be in the show that gets completely
Mm.
cut because now it's a movie and we have to
Yeah.
focus on Moana and Maui and the Thundercloud. Um, and which I also talk about in my review. So
Yeah.
like that if you for moviegoers that didn't know that it was a TV show beforehand, won't notice it. But if you do know, like we in this movie space know, you will notice it.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I don't know when in that process that happens. It could have happened with right at the scripts. like before they even animated anything, right?
Yeah,
Or it could have happened late in the game. They had it animated and they just needed to make some edits. I'm not saying when it didn't happen or anything like that,
yeah,
but that was the original plan for it to be a television show, and they
yeah.
kind of took those scripts and smashed them together.
And Bob Iger's a genius. He's smart. This movie has almost made $400 million already.
Yes, yes.
So like this would have just been on Disney Plus. People would have watched it for a week.
Hmm.
A Moana show's not holding. It can't be a weekly show because a Moana show is not holding
Nope.
the attentions of people week to week.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have hit.
Honestly, you're probably getting the same percentage of that 10.99, 9.99, whatever it is, attributed to the rest of Disney Plus that you would to Moana.
Yeah,
Nobody's signing up
yeah,
to Disney Plus for Moana 2.
no, and that's what they want.
Or
They want the
Moana
show to
cartoon show.
drag people to come in.
Right.
Yeah, like all the Moana fans already have Disney Plus to watch Moana. They're not
Right.
gonna, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah, it was a smart move to make it a movie.
absolutely.
In terms of ranking, I think Moana is definitely a full price film.
Hmm.
Where would you put it ahead? Actually, is this Moana? Yeah, this Moana. Where would you put it ahead on here in terms of?
I guess you could put it ahead of. Like, I haven't seen it in such a long time that I don't really know. I do know it's a good movie. I can tell you that much. So
Yeah.
I would probably put it behind Hundreds of Beavers or something like that.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
And now Moana 2, you haven't seen it, but
I
I
haven't
would
seen
say because there are adults in here and not kids, I'm gonna say it's a matinee.
it. Hmm.
And I'm gonna put it right here. I think that I enjoyed Look Back more than Moana 2. I just got more out of it
Hmm.
as an adult versus Moana 2, which is very, very kiddie. It's way more kiddie than the first one.
Gotcha.
Let's see what the chat has to say before we go in, and let me end the poll. What was the poll? I put Moana versus Moana 2, and Moana won by 100%, which I'm not surprised.
Not surprised. Nope.
My mom saw the movie We Live in Time. Oh, nice. I hope she liked it. Let me know if she liked it. Drew got in them draws. Yeah, he definitely did. Andrew
Oh,
Garfield.
Andrew. I was like, who the hell is? I was thinking
Who's
Drew
Drew?
McIntyre. I'm like, what the hell is going
Drew McIntyre, guys. Who draws? He's
on?
married. The thing is, I wanted to watch We Live in Time, but I knew it would make me bawl and didn't have the emotional capacity to put myself through that. That's fair.
The movie poster says you're going to cry. Like
Yeah.
it looks like you're going to cry watching this movie.
Yeah. I used to have, I had fun with Red One, was hitting that parkour. Yo. Santa was hitting that goddamn parkour, man. I really liked, I didn't bring that up, but I really liked, not J.K. Simmons. What's his real name? Wait, is it J.K. Simmons? Yeah, J.K. Simmons. Sorry, that is his real name. It's not J. Jones Jameson. I really like J.K. Simmons as Santa. He was great. I liked that it was more realistic version of Santa. I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. Never thought about that. Yeah, I really like the lore and everything they built to Santa. Santa has a lot of potential. This movie could have been great if it was just written better.
Hmm.
Red One starring the most electrifying man looked fun to me rather see it than people getting carved up for Christmas. Looking at you horror fans. Oh yeah, Terrifier. Yeah, I'm not watching that movie. I'm sorry.
I'm good on Terrifier.
You guys forced me to watch. Not force me. I'm not gonna say force me, but you guys put me through Terrifier 2. I'm not doing that myself again. And
Yeah,
this one's supposedly worse, and he's attacking kids.
that's a franchise I don't think I need to engage in.
Yeah, I'm cool
It
on
could
it.
be great. I'm not in the mood.
Let's see. Red One looks fun, like a fun Christmas film, like Violent Night a few years ago, but not in the same tone, but same spirit of fun. That's
Yeah,
a good
Violent
point,
Night was
LL.
fun.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. It's not the same tone, but the same spirit of fun. And this movie is violent in a way that it can get away with it because it's like snowmen and mythical creatures. So that's cool.
Mm.
The Usos would have made Moana 2 better.
They would have actually.
Facts.
I
Moana
haven't even
2
seen the
was
movie. I
cute.
just know that that's true.
They definitely would have. I would have loved them to be like Maui's cousins or something like that. That would have been
Mm.
very meta. Moana 2 was cute. That's it. I agree. You didn't go to the theater, Zach? How could you? I didn't go to the theater for Moana because that just wasn't like speaking to me at that time. I don't know when it came out. I don't remember, but I wasn't watching Moana in theaters. I missed a lot of the new Disney animated movies in theaters, which I wish I didn't. Like Turning Red, I loved.
It was great.
Ride the Last Dragon, Encanto.
Ride was good.
I love Encanto. Like
Encanto's
I love
fantastic.
that movie.
Yeah.
Soul, I love
Soul's
Soul.
really good.
There's another movie that I'm missing right now that I can't think of. Zootopia, one of my favorite movies.
Zootopia is so good.
It's so damn good.
So damn good. It's one of the best
So damn.
animated films I've seen in the past, I don't know, throw out a random number, 10 years or something.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
I agree. No fight back on that. Yeah, I really love a lot of their films. Lightyear, I loved a lot. I know a lot of people were divisive on that film. Some people hate that film for stupid reasons, but people who don't hate it for stupid reasons, I know some people are like, stuff like that. But I really thought the film was great.
I love Lightyear.
See, this is why you my boy Kenny.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was like kids' versions of Interstellar.
Such an emotional journey throughout.
Yeah, and the sci-fi was awesome.
Absolutely.
But was she the tribal chief? She actually was the tribal chief. So give the ones to Moana. You know what I mean? Zach, what are you hoping to get for Christmas? I already got my Christmas gift right here. I'm sitting in it, my new chair. If you are a channel member, you saw the picture like Kenny Sparks. I can't show it because I got a new chair. I got what else I got? That's about it. I just got a new chair. I'm in my 30s. I'm not gonna be getting Christmas gifts like that.
Yeah.
What Kenny Sparks? What are you hoping to get for Christmas?
Honestly, like I'm in a similar situation. I pretty much have everything I need. So if something does come about, great. Like at this point, I'm probably just buying clothes. That's it. Like just winter clothes or whatever. Like I can't justify buying any more trade paperbacks or comic books or whatever that I already have. So there's like 1,300 there. There's like something down there too. Like it's a lot. You know what I mean? So I can't really justify buying any more of those. And out of the 1,300 plus I've read like 700 odd of them. So it's like I have a lot more to read left. So
yeah.
Why
buy more? Yeah,
right. Exactly.
Same thing with me in terms of like video games. It's like why I'm not playing them like I used to, so I'm not gonna keep buying them. Like I didn't buy Spider-Man 2. I haven't bought God of War Ragnarok. These are games that I was highly anticipating. Right, like the last game I bought a multiplayer game that my friends were supposed to play with me, but they didn't actually play with me. I think it was Helldivers. That's just sitting on my console now.
Yeah.
Which I should have learned my lessons because I also bought another game that we were supposed to play and then we never played it. I'm gonna stop doing that. But the last game I bought because I had to is Horizon Forbidden West because Horizon Zero Dawn is my favorite video game of all time. So it's a sequel. I had to do it and I loved it. I made sure to make time to play that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I would put Moana 2 in streaming. That's fair. For me, the animation is too good to say it's a streaming film. It's like on the screen, it was amazing looking. I don't expect that quality for a streaming movie, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, she enjoyed it. She just said it was sad. It definitely is a sad movie. It's tough stuff is coming up during that movie, you know? We live in time. When Red goes to the library at where I live, I will rent it for free. That's fair. That's smart. Last animation film I seen was The Croods a couple years ago, and the Spider-Verse I need to get caught up on my DC animated though.
DC animation is in the dumps right now.
Yeah, like Croods I never seen, but I heard it was actually good. Spider-Verse is one of my favorite movies of all time. The DC animated movies after they did the DC Apocalypse shit,
way down. Like night and day. Like what the hell happened here? Kind of down.
I don't know what happened.
Croods and Hotel Transylvania are two franchises I need to watch because I have not seen it.
Yeah, me too. Hotel Transylvania looks so good.
And I need to see the third How to Train Your Dragon movie. I saw the first two.
I need to see those movies, period.
The first two are incredible.
Wow.
Like, incredible. So, yeah.
I've been sleeping on DreamWorks. I've been sleeping on animated movies in general. Like I've been said, there's a lot of Pixar films and Disney animated films I still haven't seen and other stuff. Like I seen Paranorman, love that film. Coraline, I love. I saw it recently. I
That
think it
was
was
good.
either this year or last year. And I love Cuba and the Two Strings. Is it Cuba or Cuba?
Kubo
Cuba
and
and
the
the
Two Strings is amazing.
so good. I'm trying to. I want to get it on physical medium. I'm gonna wait to get the steelbook. But
So
yeah, that
damn
movie
good.
is so underrated.
Yeah, I've only seen it once, but that was it. I was like, this is one of the best
Yeah,
movies I've seen.
yeah. That is one of those movies you don't have to watch a bunch. You watch it
Right.
once, you just remember moments from it forever.
Yep.
Um, I still haven't seen Moana or Red One, but I'm going to watch them eventually because I have Disney Plus. Oh yeah, well, Red One I don't think is going to be on Disney Plus, but that's going to be on Paramount Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Moana will definitely be on there. Hey, Obi Thorn Light, and
Yo, what's
that's
up,
probably
baby?
Cake Up. He said, "I hope you two are going amazingly well and enjoyed the movies for this month." Nice.
Yeah,
What
for the
movies
most
have you
part,
seen this month?
I think I've enjoyed most of what I watched this month.
Me too. And speaking of that, let's keep going. This next one, we only have 4 movies left, so we're making good time.
Yeah.
This next one is a big one, right? This is one of those that's going to be lined up. Let me get this off the screen. This one is going to be lined up for Best Picture soon, maybe Best Actress. This is a film you recently saw, and I'm glad that we're going to be able to talk about it together. And that's Honora. Did I read it last, or
Whoo!
you read it last? I don't
I
remember.
don't know. I don't
I'll
remember.
read. Honora, a sex worker from Brooklyn, gets her chance at Cinderella's story when she meets and marries the son of an oligarch. I don't know how to say that properly.
Oligarch.
Once the news reaches Russia, her fairy tale is threatened as the parents set out to New York to get the marriage annulled. That's a perfect description of the plot of
That
the
is
movie.
what this movie is. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, you start. I think I started. I've been talking. Go ahead.
Let me tell you something right now. This movie is amazing. This is one of the best movies I've seen this year. I wouldn't be mad at someone if they said it was the best movie that they've seen this year. I absolutely enjoyed this film from start to finish. Like, I think the really interesting thing about this movie is that the way that it started, I wasn't really sure, like, with the movie. Like, I didn't really. No, I had seen previews. I had seen trailers. I actually seen them a lot. Like, they were like playing in front of almost every movie
A
I wanted
lot.
to see.
Yeah.
But I don't think the trailers portrayed exactly how funny this movie is at
No,
all. It
not at
get,
all.
like the trailer gives me A24 vibes, like, oh, it's about to go down, it's crazy. The movie is just hilarious. The movie is so funny. That whole couch scene where they're trying to get her to calm down, and they're like, it's like, and the way that it subverts expectations of, like you were mentioning earlier about like the whole Russian people thing, like the Russian people coming, you think they're the bad guys, they're the gangsters, like they're coming to like kill people and stuff like that. And it's not that at all. And because it's not that at all, it just makes the entire situation funny. Like, because it plays on your expectations of it, right? So at some point, at any point, I was waiting for one of the Russian characters to like snap and actually like turn out to be who they thought they were going to be, or one of them was the actual bad guy they're trying to manipulate, blah 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 blah.
Hmm.
None of that ever happened, and it was just so damn good because of it. Especially like the main guy who was supposed to be like taking care of the rich kid and stuff like that.
The
And
like the pastor
everything,
or something like
the
that.
pastor
Yeah.
guy, when he left the thing, and I'm not spoiling stuff anymore, or at all. So like, and the thing with his truck and the car and where he had it parked, and the ice cream, when they were in the ice cream parlor, and when they actually went to the club. Oh my god, this movie is so damn funny. And it did not start out that way. I think it had some like it started out as a drama. Like, I thought I
Yeah.
was watching something similar to, I don't know if you've seen Zola from like the past. I think it
Not
was a
yet.
couple
No.
years ago. Zola was an A24 movie, and it was just Coleman Domingo's in it, and he's great as a pimp. Um, but yeah, it's like that was a really serious movie, which would get had some like very like interesting cat and mouse kind of stuff. This movie kind of starts off like that, and then as soon as they get to the door of the mansion, and it just takes that turn and just keeps going from there. And the
Yeah.
funny thing is, I was expecting the humor to stop. It never stops, and it
No, it's
was
never.
like, yeah, so damn good. And then actually, the conclusion of the film gives you this emotional, like, you get hit emotionally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, man, this is a lot. She's been through a
Yeah.
lot. He's been through a lot. that, I wanted to smack that kid. But yeah,
Russian
like,
Timothy
yeah,
Chalamet. Yeah.
I can't stand people like that. But yeah, Anora I currently have as number 6 out of the 104 movies I've seen because it's that damn good.
Yeah, I have it at number 11. It's in my top 20.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, piggybacking everything you said, right? Like
Mhm.
everything you said was incredible. I'm just gonna go a little bit more detail in terms of like the beginning of the movie. The movie is very sexy. It's very romantic in the
Mhm.
beginning. It's very fairy tale like. Like the
Yep.
description talks about this fairy tale. The way the film is shot, edited feels like a fairy tale. Like
Mhm.
it's very fast paced. It's lively. It's fun. Like oh my god, this is perfect. And
Mhm.
the cinematography reflects that. Everything's bright, really colorful in the beginning. And then when things start turning for the worse, where that fairy tale is threatened, things get
Yep.
cold with the cinematography, which I thought was a good choice. And everything starts becoming gray and bluish, and you see like the reality seeping in, and then we get
Mhm.
all these different characters that are super memorable.
Yep.
And while there is a lot of comedy, like you said, I think this is more of a dramedy than a straight up comedy because there's
Mhm.
still a lot of dramatic heft throughout the film. I
Yeah.
think that Mikey Madison showed that she is an actor with a lot of range.
Yeah.
When
She
you
killed.
think about her in Scream 5, was it Scream 5? Yeah, Scream 5. And then this, completely two different characters.
Mhm.
And I'm from Brooklyn, so the fight she had and the attitude she had, I was like, oh, I know people like this.
Yeah.
So I love that representation as well. Um, I really like the subversion because this, I think somebody said, this was a Pretty Woman reboot. It's not. There's similarities in the narrative, but it's a completely different kind of film. It's a more realistic take on what would happen in real life for Pretty Woman. Sean
Pretty
Baker
Woman.
is a director who and a writer who makes films about sex workers. This is his third film in a row about a sex worker,
Mhm.
and he shows sides of them in a way. He respects them in a way that no other filmmaker does. Right? Like we talked about representation and like how Russians are represented and how religious people are represented. Sex workers get terrible representation in media, whether it's
100%.
television, books, movies, art. They're treated like shit,
Yep.
right? And this movie treated them like humans. They
Mhm.
treated like, oh, this is just a job that they do. Yes, there's people who talk just shit about the job as the
Yeah.
Russian family did, but it is just a job, right? Like it doesn't make her. And I thought that was very, very interesting that he did that. And all the performances were fantastic. The
All
bald headed Russian dude, if he gets into
oh,
supporting acting,
he's so good.
I am rooting for him. He's so
So
good in
good.
this.
So good.
So funny, so emotionally impactful. I do think it's a little long. And I think that the middle part gets a little repetitive with like
Mhm.
the search.
Yeah.
But that ending, right? When you first watch the movie, you think that's it, but then it sits with you and you really think about it, and you're like,
Mhm.
wow, that is it. There's a lot going on here, and it's
Yep.
set up throughout the movie. In terms of how Honora is, I wish we got a little bit more detail about Honora, in terms of like her upbringing and like just
Mhm.
who she was outside of being a sex worker. But yeah, I don't think it would have helped the story that
No.
much. So I don't fault the movie too much. I
Yeah.
think when you take the full package, they did a brilliant job with the character and making just a really entertaining movie.
Very much so.
That's risque and that we don't really see.
Mhm.
So Nora is definitely one of the best movies of the year.
Yep.
Now, in terms of ranking, where we
Full
definitely like a
price
full
for
price
me.
film.
Yeah, full
Definitely full
price.
price. Definitely better than um
Oh yeah, everything that yeah.
Moana.
Yep.
Um is it better than 100 Beavers? Do I have it? I have this over 100 Beavers on my list.
Yeah, well, yeah, so do I. So, yes.
Okay. So we'll put Honora top of the line full price.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm liking the list so far. I'm a little mad where Heretic is, but that's fine.
Mhm.
Yeah. So drop in the comments down below and let me know if you guys, well, the chat, not the comments below. How you feel about Nora? If you've seen it, we're about to get into it. Who's talked already? I asked people, have you seen Nora? And I think the poll said 67% said yes. So yeah, 67% of the chat has seen Nora, which is dope. Let's see what you guys have to say before we move on to the next film. Cruise. Oh, Honora. Yes, I'm glad that you liked it. Um, they dropped the bag on the trailer. This is pure comedy and fantastic. It's so funny that you talked about Zola because Zola's poster and trailer makes it look like it's funny, and you just told me it's a serious movie. So that is really funny. While the movie for these trailers doesn't sell the funny, it sells
Hmm.
more the drama, and this is more of a
I'm
mixture.
I know that Kyle mentioned that Zola is funny, and now I'm like, am I remembering this movie right? I know that there's funny stuff in it, but
Okay,
it gets real at some points. Like,
gets super real at points.
yeah.
Gotcha. Zach, did you get Horizon Zero Dawn remastered for PS5? No, I didn't see enough differences in it for me to spend $70 on it when I could just go play the original one that I have already. Kal says Zola was dope. Collectible Movie Man says I definitely agree. Nora is really good, but I'm really disappointed. I just looked up to see if it was getting a physical release in Russia on 4K. Wait, it's released to see if it was getting physical media release. It's going in Russia on 4. Really? That's so interesting. Um, yeah, I didn't think Nora will be a film that's going to get a 4K. Like Strange Darling is not getting a 4K. I'm not shocked at that. I didn't think Nora was going to get a 4K. I don't think it's a film that needs to be 4K. I think 1080p is fine.
Mm.
There's nothing super
Nothing
action
happens
packed
in
that you
this
need
movie.
4K.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I would say the sex in the movie was insane.
There's a lot of sex.
I don't know if it was insane, but I also don't know what you're exposed to. I'm
That's
a
true.
little bit of a pervert, so
So, what are you doing? Uh,
I'll admit it. Uh, Zola was a straight comedy, maybe dark, but comedy nonetheless. But funny
yeah,
movie, Zach. Watch it. Okay.
it's definitely worth a watch.
LL. I highly recommend go watch Nora. Those movies that we like and we talk about on this all the time. It's one of those. But we were saying, what do you call Kal Kenny?
I was just looking at Honora on Letterbox, and I saw one image, and I instantly got pissed off again because there's a character in this movie. I'm like, I cannot stand you.
Oh, Russian
But,
Timothy Chalamet.
hmm?
Russian Timothy Chalamet.
No, no, in Zola, I mean,
Oh,
like I
Zola.
just
Oh,
look at
okay.
I was like, oh, I can't stand it. But it's a really good movie.
And I did not really care for the ending of the movie, though. I thought it was a good, though. I don't think it was the best film of the year. That's totally fair.
Yeah, that's
Totally
fine.
fair. Brooklyn.
But
If they put it out on media, I'll watch it. So we'll see. There is definitely getting a physical release. So don't worry about that. Zola has certainly real themes and moments, but the movie was funny to me. Okay, that's fair. Moving on to the next film. Let me get this Sonora thing out of here. This is going to be a film. Two films I'm going to just run through that I both saw. One of them I have a review coming out for, and that is Blitz. In World War II London, 9-year-old George is evacuated to the countryside by his mother Rita to escape the bombings. Defiant and determined to return to his family, George embarks on a journey back home as Rita searches for him. So Blitz was a film that's on Apple TV Plus. It came out I think this past Friday, which I thought was a mistake because obviously everyone was getting glicked. And yeah, nobody's watching Blitz at that time. But I saw it and I have if you are a channel member, the review is out now for you. If you are not a channel member, the review will be out on Tuesday. And I enjoy the movie overall. It's flawed, but it's a very emotional, impacting film because it's touching on subjects that reflect on things that's going on in real life in certain countries in terms of war and how residents are being treated because of that. And we're on ground level for a lot of this. And Saoirse Ronan gives a great performance, and the kid does a decent performance. But like what the odyssey that this little boy goes on to get back home is insane. Like what he runs into is insane. And the way it's filmed by Stephen Queen, one of the best directors doing it, obviously did 12 Years a Slave and Shame and other films like that. One of the more prominent Black directors that get to do different kinds of films. The filmmaking here was phenomenal. Like he did a fantastic job with the set design, the costumes, getting you really into the time period, and then when the bombs are dropping, was absolutely horrifying. Right, absolutely horrifying. I think the movie just overstuffed with too much to make it as cohesive as I would want it to be. Like there's themes of like this kid obviously is black, his mom is white, his father is black, and
Mhm.
there's themes of him not thinking he's black. Because obviously his father wasn't there for him in his life because he got deported, and so he grew up with his white mother. And back then, obviously World War II, people were super racist, so people used to call him monkey and stuff like that. So he didn't want to be black, and there's a little struggle with that. And then there's sort of his mother's struggling with like sexism, and then there's obviously the bombings. So it's like a lot of stuff going on. It feels like two or three different movies in one, and they don't necessarily mesh together well. But I think it's still worth a watch because there's some scenes in this that I was like, Jesus.
Mhm.
Uh, so yeah, it's on Apple TV Plus right now. Definitely check it out. And another movie by the black director that came out, and I really wanted to talk about. I'm not going to be doing the review for this one anymore, but I want to talk about it here. Is Piano Lesson. This is directed by Malcolm Washington, which is one of Denzel's sons.
Oh.
And the Charles family grapples with the family legacy and difficult decisions as they determine the fate of their heirloom piano, exploring deeper themes along the way. So I thought this movie was going to be really dumb because it's basically about family members fighting over a piano. So I thought, like, this sounds silly. What the hell? How are they going to make this good? But the execution of the film and the deepness and the depth that they did here and the supernatural aspect that it brought in really elevates that. And what could have been like a lifetime dumbass trash movie is
Mhm.
actually a really solid film because Malcolm Washington, this is his first full length theatrical film. He does short movies before this. Is very talented. He's on my list of directors of okay, you making something I'm looking at. I'm
Mhm.
looking out for it, right? Um, the actors all give it their all. Samuel Jackson kind of not, but everyone else give it their all. And Kenny, I wanted to talk to you about this because I've been very critical of John David Washington, right?
Mhm.
Very critical of this man. This is the best performance I've ever seen him have.
That's my
He
guy.
he completely loses himself in his character. He's charismatic. He's entertaining. He has ranges of emotions. He has a monologue in here that I was absolutely floored by. Right? Like I was like, wow. And then the lead actress who might be up for lead actress, if I can remember her name, she's been in a couple things. She was in Emmett. She played Emmett Till's mother,
Okay.
Daniel Deadweiler. She's also was in that cowboy movie with Jonathan Majors where she played a boy, I think. Um, the Harder They
Um,
Fall.
yes, that's a good movie.
What else? I feel like she was in something else. I can't think of what else she's on. She has another movie coming on that called Carry On that I want to watch. But she's a phenomenal actress. Like I saw my Denzel bragging about her before the movie came out, and I was
Mhm.
like, I know she's good, but damn. And then I watched the movie. I was like, oh no, she's good in this movie. Like
Yeah.
her and John David Washington is enough to check this film out. The only reason I don't think the movie is great is because it just doesn't do enough to kind of expand on the themes that it's touching on. It feels very repetitive at parts. Like
Okay.
John David Washington tells the same story like at least 6 times, and I was like, bro, that is a rookie filmmaking mistake. Where like usually when you hear a story once, what they'll do is when they have to tell it again, they'll look at the character and they'll cut it, and then the character will react because we
Right.
know what they're about to tell them, so they don't have to say it again. But he says the same things over and over and over. And I don't know if the supernatural aspect was executed as well as I would like it to have been executed. It was solid. I could see Malcolm Washington making a horror film. I think he can definitely do that, and I'm excited to see if he pulls that off. But I wish it was integrated a little better. And the
Mhm.
last thing I gotta say is that the opening sequence of this film is one of the best opening sequences of the year. It's very
Okay.
powerful, some really creative lighting, some really creative directing. So definitely check out the piano lesson. It's on Netflix. It's really solid, and it's something a small film like that needs support. And it's a Denzel family, man. We got to support the Denzel family.
I'm just
Um,
really curious about Samuel Jackson, like not pulling his weight or whatever you said.
mhm.
What
He was
What do you
just
mean by that?
himself. He
Okay.
was just himself. Like it was a basic Samuel Jackson performance. I don't know if it was just because he didn't have enough to
I mean,
do, but even the little that he had, I just felt like, all right, that's Sam.
I mean, a basic Samuel Jackson performance is better than a lot of people.
Of course. That's why, like, but you know what it is? It's so many good performances in this movie that
Mm-hmm.
a basic one doesn't make him shine. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah.
John David Washington's doing a lot. Daniel Deadweiler is doing a lot. Um, the guy who plays Cyborg in Zack Snyder's Justice League is in here.
Yeah.
He does a great job as well. I've been looking for him. He was like on Rebel Moon, but that movie sucked. But I've been wanting him to get more roles because he was so good as Cyborg. And I was like, he's a great actor. And he did a really good job. He has an accent in this film that took me like a little time to get used to.
Mm-hmm.
But once I got used to it and I was seeing what he was doing, he did a great job in this film. And I'm hope to see him in more stuff. In terms of these films, Blitz is better than Leave Live in Time and Red One for me, and also his Piano Lesson. So they're definitely streaming films. I think maybe Blitz because of the action scenes that are in there. It's probably a matinee because there's some really gorgeous sequences in there. So I'll put it in matinee. But I won't, and it's better than Moana too. Uh, yeah, Piano Lesson can stay down here. I enjoyed it more than We Live in Time, and I enjoyed it more than Red One.
Is Piano
Um,
Lesson not better than Moana 2?
only reason, I think Moana 2 is more rewatchable. The repetitive nature that I was talking about would hurt a rewatch for me, if that makes sense.
I hear that.
Like I can rewatch Moana 2 without no issues.
Mm-hmm.
But Piano Lessons like might be a one and done.
Okay.
I might rewatch the opening sequence again and maybe watch certain sequences on YouTube, but I don't think I'm gonna sit down and watch it again. Not for a while, at least. It might be a while before I sit and watch again. Moana 2, somebody wanted to throw that on like right now. Oh, all right, whatever. Let's go. I'll be in and out getting food, drink, you know what I mean? Like I don't have to sit there and watch it, but I'm not gonna be mad. There's some action sequences and stuff that was funny in it. Yeah. Let's see what the chat has to say before we get to the main event.
The main event.
They dropped the bag of the trailers. Didn't really care for the ending. Brooklyn. That man said I wouldn't say insane. Bro, it sounds like he's pro in these ventures. I'm not. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. I think the dance sequence in the movie with the 4K would really make the movie pop. And The Strange Darling does have 4K, but you have to import it from the UK. Okay. I didn't know that. That's good to know because I'll get the UK version. My PS5 can play all regions. Dan Kenny got the We Are Marines jug.
Yeah.
USA.
I need my hydration.
Sorry. What were you saying?
No, I was saying I need my hydration.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know this was a World War II movie. I definitely will check it out. I wish they would have put it in theaters. I would have checked it out. It was in theaters. It was in theaters for like a week or two, maybe a month, and then it went to Apple TV Plus. But as you see, a lot of people didn't know. Black guy as a bad dad. How original. Rest sounds interesting. Wait, no. So I don't know if I messed it up. The father in Blitz is actually not a bad person. He's a phenomenal. He was great. He had great chemistry with Saoirse Ronan. I really liked his story. I don't want to spoil what happened, why he wasn't there. If you're gonna go check out the film, but he's not a bad dad. I think he would have been a great father. I heard about this movie, Piano Lessons. Was it on Netflix? It's on Netflix. Yeah. He was trying to be like his dad and give you deja vu. We got to stop doing that to Sammy. That mother is a legend. Do what? He is a legend. I never said he wasn't a legend. I'm just saying it wasn't his best performance. You know, like that's fair to say. Not everybody's gonna give their best performance all the time.
Shame on you.
Shame on me. I know. Okay. Will you do the honors of reading this last one?
Of course. Misunderstood because of her green skin, a young woman named Elphaba forges an unlikely but profound friendship with Galinda, a student with an unflinching desire for popularity. Following an encounter with the Wizard of Oz, their relationship soon reaches a crossroad rather, as their lives begin to take very different paths.
Yeah, I think me and you kind of feel almost similar to this movie. I think you like this a little bit more than I do, but
Hmm.
talk about it, man.
F. Galinda and everything she stands for.
I agree.
Um, all 2024, 2025. Can't stand her. Don't like her. But no, so Wicked is actually really it surprised me. Up until the day before I saw this movie, I was like, I'm not going to go see it. And a friend of mine hit me up, said he wanted to go see it with his daughter. But my friend is not the type of person. I love my parents who are also creators in this space. But whenever they're like, oh, like my kids liked it, I'm like, what that got to do with me? That does not mean it's a good movie. You're like, well, my kids enjoyed it. What what the f does that have to do with me and what I felt about it, right? So that being said, this movie is phenomenal. This movie is absolutely breathtakingly phenomenal. Breathtaking is a little dramatic, but it's really freaking good. Elphaba's, sorry, Cynthia Erivo, and Ariana Grande absolutely steal the show as they should. Ariana Grande, she steals the show for me not because she's better than Cynthia Erivo, but because I didn't know Ariana Grande could act like that. I wasn't expecting it. So she was so captivating and so very, very good in this movie that I was just shocked by how good she was. Right. So both of them deserve Emmy nominations. I think that Emmy
Oscar.
Thank you. Both of them deserve Oscar nominations. As does this movie, I could see a Best Picture nomination for this film. I could see special effects, costuming, and everything
Makeup
like
and
that.
hairstyling.
Of director as well. Gotta have Best Director for this film for sure. And yeah, hairstyle, hair and makeup, absolutely. So yeah, this movie is absolutely like incredible. Like a lot of the things I really liked about the film, besides all of its technical aspects, are how it subverts uh, the things that you're used to from the Wizard of Oz story. The Wizard of Oz story is very like straightforward. Um, coming from Kansas, little girl comes from Kansas, kills the Wicked Witch of the West. Wicked Witch of the East wants to take her out. She got to get to Oz so she can get home. It is what it is. All of this is a completely different retelling. And I know it's coming from a musical, and the musical is actually coming from a book. And I really enjoy some of the liberties that is taken with the original Wizard of Oz story. So, yeah, I really liked it. I liked it a lot. I'm curious about a lot of characters who were shown in this film, especially Elphaba's sister, who from the regular Wizard of Oz we know is Elphaba is the Wicked Witch of the East, I believe, and her sister, who they land a house on right at the beginning of the movie, is the Wicked Witch of the West, right? So I'm very curious to see how her sister develops, if she does, into that other witch. Yeah, and also the Linda character, because as the movie opens up, it shows a very interesting depiction of Galinda. And I know she changed her name to Glinda at some point during the movie, but she'll always be Galinda because I'm not going to give her that type of respect because she is sellout. But yeah, I really, really love this film. Like I absolutely love it. Michelle Yeoh's great in it as well. Like everybody's really good. The animal angle in this film also really strong. Really enjoyed that. Had no idea that the main goat professor was Peter Dinklage until somebody mentioned it afterwards. Like, yeah, this movie's great. Like, legitimately, I have it number three on my 2024 list. Like, it's that good. And to think, I was not interested in seeing this movie whatsoever. But yeah, I cannot wait till next year until part two comes out.
Yeah, I think this movie is cause for celebration for many reasons, and I'm going to get into that. I'm just going to get all my negative energy out first, and
Mhm.
then talk about the other thing. So I was not looking forward to this movie at all. I thought the trailers looked awful. I don't like music. Well, I mean, I said I don't like musicals. I'm not a huge fan of musicals. It's not nowhere, not even my top 5 genres that I'm gonna run to go to see in the theaters. But I'm getting more open to them because I really like Wonka. I'm one of the few people that like Joker too. I love the
I like
Mean
Wonka too.
Girls.
Wonka was
I
really
love
good.
Mean Girls one remake musical too. I thought that was really, really strong.
Hmm.
So I'm more open to it if it's done the right way. And obviously, I like a lot of Disney movies, so obviously, I like some musical aspects. But I just was not the way it looked on the trailers. I was like, this doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good. And I never saw Wizard of Oz, so I was like, I'm not really. I don't have no emotional attachment to this franchise. Now it's a franchise. Um, and then also Cynthia Erivo is not an actress that I'm a big fan of because controversial reasons, and she's the lead. So I was like, I'm not gonna watch this because I don't want to support her or get any money in her pocket. And then Ariana Grande is not an actress that I'm like, I'm gonna run because
Right.
I didn't watch her shows that much, you know. And like I've seen clips of them now, like on YouTube reels, and
Mhm.
now thinking back, I'm like, duh, I didn't know the role and how it was gonna be executed. But
Yeah.
now that I'm seeing how it's executed and how knowing how she acted in her old shows, I'm like, yeah, this is so her. Like she just
Hmm.
transferred all the stuff she did in her TV shows in this movie. She had phenomenal comedic timing in her TV shows, and she had phenomenal comedic timing in here.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so basically, I went in with so much negativity going into the movie because of varying factors.
Hmm.
Sat down into the movie starting. It starts off really weird. We're basically seeing a scene from part 2
Yeah.
and all that stuff. I was a little worried, but I was hearing such great things about the film. I was in a theater filled with teenage girls. They're all getting excited, making noise, and da, 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 da. Luckily,
Hmm.
I had no singing
Hmm.
during anything. And then, like, once the story started going, I really started connecting with Alphaba. Really liking her character. Cynthia Erivo does a fantastic job with the character.
Yeah.
I think her experience as a black woman really brings a lot of context
Hmm.
to the themes of Alphaba.
Yep.
I think that was a smart choice of casting a black actress in that role because of what she goes through in the movie.
Even her
Um,
having micros.
huh?
Even her having micros
Yeah.
instead of
Oh, I
just
love that.
like flowing hair or whatever, like straight hair. She had micros, and that's like very black. So it was. I even thought that detail was great.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry. I read something Cal just said and it threw me off. Uh, he always wild in the chat. But yeah, no, the micro hair. I think that whoever made that creative choice, if it was Cynthia herself or the hairstylist that did everything, genius. I think it
Yeah,
looked beautiful. I
it
think
did.
that showcasing micros as beautiful in a film, very,
Yes.
very important. Um, the movie is fun. It's
Hmm.
funny. It's bombastic. It's the first blockbuster in a long time that feels like a blockbuster. Like you
Yeah.
see the money
Yep.
on the screen. A lot of
Yeah.
times you hear these movies are $250 million, and you watch the movies like, where the hell did the money go? This
Yep.
was only 145,
Which
which
is
is
crazy.
really cheap.
Which is
Was
crazy
really, really cheap.
for what they
For
got out of it. That's
Yeah,
wild.
with all that was going on here, this is my review is out, and by my review, I say this is Mean Girls meets Harry Potter meets Wizard of Oz, and I really mean that, right? But at the same time, I think that's a little bit of a detriment to the story because I felt like there was so many things that was set up a little bit that I wanted to expand it on, and with the
Hmm.
movie being 2 hours and almost 50 minutes, I felt like they kind of like started stuff and then stopped stuff and start. And I get it; it's a part 1, so they're gonna continue it on in the third one. But I felt a
Yeah.
little unsatisfied on certain story beats
Hmm.
in the film, some minor ones. The chemistry between Cynthia and Ariana Grande, chef kiss, they were
Yep.
amazing together.
They were
I
great.
see why the tour, like the media tour that they're on, makes
Hmm.
sense because they get along really well. The supporting characters were
That media
solid.
tour though,
Yes, a lot.
it's a lot. They crying in every interview at the
It's a
drop
lot.
of a hat, and I'm just like,
I stopped watching them because I was just like, all right, this is too much.
y'all gotta
Um,
relax. Yeah.
Michelle Yeoh was solid, but she can't sing, unfortunately. She's not that
I
great at
kind of
singing.
noticed that. I was like,
Mm, yeah. If you could sing, that role would have stood out more. But the fact that she
Mhm.
couldn't hurt it, she kind of had to talk, sing,
Yeah.
as some autotune. Jeff
Mhm.
Goldblum was Jeff Goldblum. He plays the same
Yep.
character in every movie, but he does an amazing job doing it.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
sister, we talked about Glinda, whatever F
Yeah.
her for real. If you are a Glinda or Galinda in my life,
Yeah.
leave now,
Like
exit,
Linda, all
take
2024. Yeah.
exit stage left. But also F her sister, F that bitch.
Oh yeah.
She's so ass.
Terrible.
Terrible.
Terrible. Her
Terrible.
father.
Her sister. Oh my god! Forget the father. You know the father reminded. You ever seen the movie The Black Phone?
Yeah,
She reminded me of the father from The Black Phone. I hated that man. I
yeah,
hated him so much, and I hated him, and I hated his father. I was like, "Is this the same actor?" Because they kind of look
yo,
alike. Yo,
yo,
absolute trash.
trickety
The
trash.
whole family, the whole bloodline,
Yep,
trash.
yep.
Mama, daddy, sister, cousin, auntie, trash.
Yo, it started off with the mom on some other stuff.
Wildin'. I was
I was like, yo,
like, "Yo, this
what
is
we
your fault. You out
doing? Yeah,
here messing with green stuff." Yo,
yes, man. I
the
was not
backstory
expecting it
behind
to start like
that
that.
was really cool, and I wish they would expand it on the survivor's guilt situation
Mhm.
with her and what happened with her mother and her sister. So all
Yep.
that was cool. I really I love the movie. I ended up loving the movie. I don't love it as a lot of people. It's not a 5-star class. It's not a masterpiece to me because I think that the plot is just too simple and like
Mhm.
too jaggedy. But the bombasticness of it, right? The
Mhm.
songs are amazing.
Songs are great.
Visually, for the most part, it looks amazing. The
Yeah.
dance sequences. I'm not like a musical fan, so I don't know what bad and good sequencing setup is. A lot of musical fans say that the sequencing is not good, but
Mhm.
I thought it was great because it looked like a music video, and I like music videos.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
and the
I think
Prince
part of it too
character,
was like movies are not plays.
yeah, yeah, no, but they're trying to say like musical movies, like they're comparing it to other musical movies and
Oh, okay,
saying they're
gotcha.
not set up as well.
Mhm.
The Prince guy, I really liked him as well. Glad to see more of him, and I think they hinted to what he's going to turn into the Wizard of Oz and all that. The action was
I
really
didn't catch
good.
that. I didn't catch that. Like I
He
thought
might
this.
be turning into one of the original characters or something like that. I don't
Okay.
want to spoil anything,
Yeah,
but this
because
is
I
just
don't know
something I've
anything.
on
I
the
haven't read
internet.
the books. Yeah. Or
Yeah,
sorry.
like the guy who likes Galinda, not Galinda's, Alphaba's
Yeah.
sister is also a character from the Wizard of Oz. I was like, all right, I don't know any of this stuff. I don't want to spoil myself, so I'm gonna stop reading all this crap. Uh, I'll just watch part 2
I have
next year
guesses now. Now that you mention it, I have guess.
because like the Wicked Witch of the East loves someone or something, and they were like, okay, that's. I'm not gonna get into it. If you know, you know.
I
Cool.
don't
The movie
know,
is
but I want to guess.
the movie is great. The singing is fun. The dancing is fun. The movie is funny.
Hmm.
It has some depth to there, like we said, the animal stuff. I love how magical it feels. I haven't felt a movie that I watched that was magical like this since Harry Potter.
Hmm.
Um, and it wasn't stuff that we'd never seen before, but the execution just felt magical.
Yeah.
And the defying gravity sequence that they kept showcasing and talking about,
Oh my
even
god.
though I
You know
saw in
my
the
last 10
trailer,
minutes?
yeah,
That was
watching it
amazing.
in the that was like a superhero. That was like Man of Steel when Clark finally flies.
Hmm.
That feeling when you watch that scene, it
Yeah.
was that, but with singing.
Yeah.
And I was swept up into it. My theater pissed me off because they turned on the lights before it was done, and I was like, "What
That's
the hell?"
crazy.
The credits is not even rolling.
That's crazy.
I've had some interesting theater experiences in the last 12 months. For the
Hmm.
most part, 90% of my theater experiences are great.
Yeah.
But
Same.
behind that, and then Wonka with the kids throwing candy at everybody, and someone bringing a baby to Moana 2.
Oh no.
Luckily that baby was solid and wasn't making a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And then also somebody bringing a 12-year-old to Nora. I was like, what is happening?
That's insane.
That's insane.
It's like,
Um,
first of all, it's crazy to bring a 12-year-old to a Nora. It's crazier to bring a 12-year-old to a Nora and then stay.
the whole movie.
Right. Like
I
that's
got up. I waited to the end credits of the movie because I sat there processing the ending. I got up, and lights turned on, and I looked. And I see a grandma looking lady, somebody that's probably her daughter, and then probably her granddaughter. And I was like,
mhm.
"What?" In the front
That
row, titties all over the.
man.
All
Oh
right,
man.
all right. But yeah,
Oh,
back
yeah.
to Wicked.
Yeah.
This is a movie that everyone should try to go support, because we need blockbuster films that put everything out there. Um, there are some filmmaking stuff that I didn't like. I think that the lighting was absolutely garbage,
Mhm.
and I think this movie would have looked a lot better if they didn't use natural lighting and they actually use film lighting and would have
Yeah.
made the colors pop better. Um, They made Ariana Grande look super pale at points, and they like had
Yeah,
weird
she looks
shadows
ghostly at some points.
because the lighting was so bright and
Mhm.
stark, and like it was garbage. So like there's some practical effects here that look amazing and detailed that draws you into the world. And then there's like, and the lighting is okay sometimes. And then there's some CGI that gets completely washed out because they're using this weird ass lighting. Like there's a scene where Alphaba is running into like a field and the background looks garbage. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, so like little stuff like that. Like, there's like ebbs and flows to the production of it. But overall, I've been talking too long. Wicked is a must see.
Yep.
It's one of the best films of the year. That's a lot for me to say for someone that was super pessimistic and also not a big fan of musicals.
Same.
Uh, I am not on the train of Oscar for this film. I don't think there's anything here outside of maybe makeup and songs and score, like some technical elements I think could get in here. I don't think the director, I guess, yeah, the director deserves, he had a lot to do. So yeah, I can see the director getting in. This is definitely getting in for best picture.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's gonna get, it's probably gonna get acting noms. I don't think it should. I think there's some other
Really?
performances that should get in before it. But I won't be mad if both Cynthia, I would be mad if Ariana Grande gets in and Cynthia does not. And I don't
That
even
would
like her.
piss me off. Yeah.
But if Cynthia gets in and Ariana doesn't get in, I'll be fine. It's either Cynthia gets in or both of them get in. But if Ariana gets in and Cynthia doesn't, I'm gonna be pissed
Yeah, yeah.
because Ariana's performance does not work without Cynthia. Cynthia
Correct.
can do the performance without Ariana Grande, and
Correct.
that's how I feel. You can
Yeah.
argue with me in the live chat. Let me know. That's how I
Mhm.
feel. But
No,
let's
I'm
get the
with you
rank
on
into this.
that.
Um,
IMAX.
this is a definite IMAX.
I saw it in IMAX, so I had it.
Oh, I wish I did. Oh, I so wish I did.
Yeah.
And I wasn't in my desired seat for this. I was like a little
Mhm.
closer than I wanted to be, so my head was kind of bent up, but it still had a great experience. Is it better than Gladiator? I think I enjoyed this better more than Gladiator one. I know that's probably controversial, but you probably didn't, right?
Uh, from an I don't. You could put it wherever. I don't have a right or wrong answer for this.
Just so like we don't seem like bad cinephiles, I'm gonna leave Gladiator first. Because that's kind of crazy. But yeah, we're gonna talk about the list real quick, and then we're gonna give you guys like 5 minutes to just access anything, and then we're gonna be out of here. Yeah, how do you feel about this list, Kenny? Do you feel like anything needs to move around? Do you feel confident in this? Or the overall feelings of November?
So, I mean, I enjoyed everything I watched. Looking at this list, I'm not seeing. Yeah, I enjoyed everything I saw in November, which is great. Oh, also, I saw Spider Man in November, but that's
Oh yeah, talk about some stray movies you watched that we didn't talk about.
Mhm. Yeah, I saw Spider Man again on Thanksgiving. It's still great, still holds up. It's still amazing. It's really freaking good. It also had me notice that um, Tom Holland Spider Man, which I also love, he really doesn't swing around the city much. Like, there's not a lot of scenes with
Or
him
at
just
all?
going around the city. Not that it's required because obviously he's still good without it, but that's like a central part of Spider Man. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, so I really enjoyed that. I can't really think much of other things that I've seen this past month, but yeah. Overall, I think this is a really good list. I still want to see Piano Lesson. Still want to see We Live in a Time, Different Man, and Blitz. I definitely want to see those and everything else. I think I'm seeing. I honestly can tell you from the bottom of my heart, I do not care about Moana 2. Like, I'm caring about it less and less
That's
as the
fair.
week goes on. Like, it came into the weekend thinking I would go see it, and I'm just kind of like, I don't care. I'm not saying it's bad. I haven't seen it, but my motivation to see it is low right now.
Yeah, and then the reviews aren't the greatest. So like,
That's part of it.
do you feel like any movies need to be moved around before we make finalize this?
Um, no, I mean, no. Everything I've seen is right where it should be. I think all of
Yeah.
it is pretty good. I would love to see uh, Hundreds of Beavers on the big screen. Like
Me too.
that would be an experience and a half.
That would be it. With people. Oh,
Yeah. Especially if you can't pause the movie, like you're in a movie theater watching it,
yeah,
it's got to be a complete. Because I did have to pause it once or twice just because I'm at home, but
yeah.
like it's so good. Also, I saw Hoodwinked, which is a movie
Talk
that
about that.
CC recommended to me on like a I don't know what to call it, game program, whatever little thing that we're doing with our friends, and I did watch it, and I didn't love it. I did see like there is some good things about it. Like the grandma in Wicked is freaking amazing. She just like she is like the best grandma in the world. Like she was like, I don't care what my grandbaby doing. I'm going snowboarding. It's so freaking funny. And I did like some of the perspectives and the idea of kind of like this I don't want to call it murder mystery, but this mystery thing. I think what threw it off for me was the animation and just the pacing of it.
Mhm.
Not to get like too technical I mean, not that you can't get technical with an animated film. I
Yeah.
just wasn't like I just wasn't feeling the vibe of it. Like a lot of it, I was kind
Mm,
of like I had to like force myself to pay attention to,
mm.
because for
Wasn't
long
holding
periods of
attention.
time, it just felt like nothing important was happening. However, I'm glad I watched it. You know what I mean? So I had a good time, and I can't wait to do that thing again, man, with our friends. I wanted you to join in. Um,
I'm gonna join it eventually.
yeah,
I just I have too many movies I'm trying to catch up on
I figured that's what that
for
was why.
2024. That's
Hmm.
why, and I have like videos. Like someone just asked me, and I'm gonna bring it up just because you talked about it.
Yeah.
Zach, do you think you'll get your Return of King review before the end of the year? So if you are someone that pays attention to my YouTube page, I just gave like a channel update, and I want to do more of those, giving you
Hmm.
guys updates on what's going on. So I'm not just ghost when you don't see anything. Like I didn't make a video for like a week. That's not normal for me. I usually do
Right.
videos a week. Um, I
I
was
haven't
gonna
watched
do piano lesson, um, and do that, and then put it out Thursday because I have Blitz coming out on Tuesday. But obviously I was gonna make it available for channel members because you guys get things early. But I decided to cancel that because I don't think a lot of people are going to watch that review. They probably not a lot of people are going to watch my Blitz review either. So I was like, I'm not going to put out 2 reviews and put all the effort into, I'm trying to add more comedy in my reviews. I'm making memes from scratch now.
it. Hmm.
I don't know, guys, how that's going. And all this other stuff that I'm trying to make my reviews a little bit more engaging and my thumbnails better so I can get the ball rolling. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that for piano lesson because it's not like I have like high praise or much to say about it. Probably gonna be like a 4-minute review anyway.
Yeah.
Um, so I was like, I'm gonna cancel that and I'm gonna watch a recap of Return of the King, and then I'm
Hmm.
gonna work on getting that done. Um, I'm going to get it out before the end of the year. It's definitely going to get out before the end of the year. It's going to be out before before New Year's because I want to start doing throwback reviews again.
Okay.
And I feel like I did Gladiator and I did Beetlejuice, but I feel bad because you guys are supposed to get Return to King and I'm doing other ones. So I'm gonna and I was supposed to do Moana and I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be the one coming like, my throwback review of this kids movie is that I don't like it as much as you guys. So I was like, I'm
Hmm.
not doing that. So yeah, Return of King is gonna come before the end of the year.
Okay.
Let me see what else you guys got to say because I was actually to start a movie with 2 leads I don't care for, but the movie always looked good, really good in my opinion. That's fair. That's totally fair. He's talking about Cynthia and Ariana.
Hmm.
Love Wicked. I already pre-ordered the 2 Funkos, 3 Funko Pops, 2 Funko, 3 Funko Pops, and I'm even thinking about reading the book. Nice. I know you're a big reader, so that'll be cool.
Yo, I heard the book is like crazy different from even the play. Like it's
Me too. I heard that
dark,
too.
dark, dark. It almost makes you want to read it, but I don't read books like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
I'm
might.
educated, nigga. Who reads books out here? You know what I'm saying?
Who be out here reading?
Thug life, Philly. That's not true. I would read books if I could pay attention or concentrate.
Once I get my new glasses, I'll be reading more. I still have the first Dune book to read.
Once I get cured of my ADHD, I'll definitely be reading books, which that's not going to happen. So,
This next one I want to talk about because I put in the live chat poll. I said, "Did you get glicked?" 75% yes, 25% said no. And
I
then
did get
Kello
glicked.
said, "Did you get
I did
glicked?"
get
Makes
glicked.
me
Yeah.
uncomfortable. It
Is
makes
it
me
Glick
look
or is it Glickid?
Glicked. Well, it should be Glicked.
Yeah.
But I guess you're not gonna say you got Glicked. I guess you can say you got Glicked. I
Eh.
just like saying Glicked. It sounds funny.
Glicked is better. Yeah.
Yeah. Or was it Wickeditor? Wickidator, or something like that. Wicked, but Gladiator, so Wickeditor or something like that.
Yeah.
Glicked is better.
Yeah.
Wicked is definitely the top shocker for me this year. I didn't expect to like it, and I loved it. I even initiated the applause at the end. Wow, that's dope. I usually hesitate, but that day I was like, nah, I'm clapping. Just imagine Cece saying it in her head just like that. Nah, I'm clapping.
I was waiting for my theater to clap, then they did, and then I joined in.
I was shocked that my theater didn't clap because there was so many wicked like theater fans in there. Yeah, Ariana Grande was amazing in this movie. I was shocked by her performance too. I did not know she could act that good. I listened to her music, but that's about it. Yeah, people forget about her performances in was it Nickelodeon she was in?
Mhm.
I think so.
I had no idea that she was in television or acting before
Okay. She
seeing
was
this
in
movie.
a show called Sam and Cat and Victorious. I think those are the shows she was in.
Mm.
And she played kind of like this airhead character that was like did always mix up stuff, and she did a good job.
Yeah.
Aaron Gunter was great. Comedy, absolutely her style. Yeah, she needs to be more comedies. She was in my favorite movie in 2021, Don't Look Up,
Hmm.
and she was funny in that movie.
Yeah.
But she was playing herself. I'm deadly scared of the Wizard of Oz movie because of the flying monkeys and the Wicked Witch, and I've been thinking about trying to give the original Wizard of Oz a try. Well, the flying monkeys were in this, so you should be good.
Yo, that scene with the flying monkeys.
It was crazy.
I've never felt worse for the flying monkeys. I was like,
Yeah,
yo, this is crazy.
this is
I was
terrible.
not expecting that.
People, hey Siri, what is glicked? Glicked is something that happens at Diddy parties. Oh God. Oh God.
I saw that
Yeah.
earlier.
Oh nah. What do you think of Peter Dinklage and Jeff Goldblum? Oh, we talked about that.
Hmm.
Uh, I just saw Wonka for the first time a few weeks ago, and I really enjoyed it. Me too.
I'd never say this. I want to rewatch Wonka during this
Me too.
Christmas holiday season. I want to cry again. Cry
I
tears of
think it's
joy.
gonna be a Christmas movie for me. Die
Yeah.
Hard, Home Alone, Wonka,
Yeah.
Christmas
Yeah.
movies.
It's that good.
Yes, I'm glad to see realistic hairstyles for Black women. Yup. Not
Hmm.
against wigs and weave, but we're rocking more than that. Yep.
Accurate.
I agree.
Yep.
Taking animal talking. Hey, DJ Family and Nerds, what's up? Talking animals look better than live action Lion King talking animals.
That is 1000% true.
They did. They did. It was pretty impressive. I was fully invested in that goat.
Oh my gosh. My heart was breaking.
Yeah. Bad sister points. Major bad sister points. Oh my god.
Awful. Awful.
I vied with Glenda. Did they turn Glenda into a Karen?
Glenda is
No,
a Karen.
she didn't get to Karen levels. She wasn't like, let me speak to your manager, please.
She for sure did.
Oh, I'm bugging. Yeah, the ending.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even her jealousy of Elphaba being chosen by
Michelle Yeoh.
uh, Michelle Yeoh. Like she was going full Karen.
Oh yeah, the father could catch these hands. Facts.
Facts.
Every
Also
hands,
that
feet, and
choice.
back.
Yeah. He
Everything.
was the worst of them all.
Yeah. Everyone can get it. Facts. I
Yep.
love the energy.
Yep.
First, Maleficent is not a villain. Then Mufasa is a hater. Now Glenda is a Karen. Come on, they playing with us. Giving some more depth to these characters that were
Yep.
kind of one note, you know?
Hmm.
They're all still what they were. It's just they're a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
You know, I really feel bad for Alphaba. Like now I'm gonna watch Wizard of Oz and I'm like, nah. This
Right.
shouldn't be happening to her.
Speaking of which, I wanted to ask you if you wanted to watch Wizard of Oz, but more importantly, if you wanted to watch The Wiz.
Yeah, I need to see both. Wiz
The
is with Michael
Wiz.
Jackson, right?
Yes, it's one of my favorite movies. Favorite holiday Christmas movie. It's so good. And it's absolutely horrifying, by the way. Yeah, so yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we can watch both of those. And we
Mhm.
also still got to watch Athena.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm really excited for you to see that opening sequence, man. I already pre-ordered my Wicked 4K. I got the big collector's gift set where you can get 1 foot tall golden hat of the Wicked Witch. Oh wow.
That's
And a
crazy.
golden hat that's 1 foot tall Galinda. That's dope.
Yeah, this is
The popular song is the most fun I've had in the theater is since Sonic 2. The popular song?
I think you're talking about the Ariana Grande song
Oh, okay.
about being popular.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Next, they're gonna have Cinderella is a Jussie Smollett. What? I'm
that
not
is
even
a
sure where you're going
wild
there.
statement.
Look,
Also,
his charges got dropped, by the way.
that's true.
Nobody's talking about
Also, what was I going to say? Um, I forget what I was going to say. Go for it.
it. Yes, that
Oh,
scene gave me
now I
goosebumps.
remember.
I was looking for the scream, like, how dare you?
Now I remember what I was going to say. So all the songs worked for me, except for one, which was the final song. When
Defying
they're
Gravity?
it's not the song, it's when the song happens. I don't know if this makes sense. So
Oh.
they close the door, they're doing the thing, they're getting together, she's about to go, and then they just kind of like it's a very serious moment, like drama, dramatic, like acting movie type of situation. And then they just start singing out of nowhere. I was like, that's
Mm.
that was the only time. But once you get into Defying Gravity, oh god, it's just
Yeah, I can see that because they also was like singing and then stopping and talking and then singing
yeah.
again. And I was
That
like,
was like what was like, what we doing?
what the fuck? What's
We either
happening?
singing or we talking.
Yeah, do one. Don't do
Right,
both.
right.
Yo, I already don't like when y'all sing and talk, like sing to
Hmm.
talk. And now you're going back and forth. Mm-mm. I don't know if
Thinking
that was like
about
tech.
Folie à Deux in comparison to this movie is kind of hilarious.
Yeah, because Foley Do is like that anti-musical
Right.
musical. It's funny. Wicked Part 2 wrapped filming the week this movie came out, so it's in post production now.
That's good.
Zach, have you finished all the Harry Potter movies? No, I watched up to Goblet of Fire and I tapped out.
Goblet of Fire is my favorite one.
I don't know why I tapped out, but I just tapped out and I just never
Mhm.
felt the urge to go back.
Yeah.
I agree. Cynthia deserves her flowers.
Hmm.
Yep. There's already rumors going around that Ariana Grande could be nominated for Best Supporting Actress. Cynthia Erivo could be nominated for Best Actress. I've been seeing that. Zach, have you got any new physical media? Have I? I bought. I think I'm gonna drop everything by trying to get it, and everything just dropped. I just dropped everything over onto the right of me. I got Hush, a Hush Steelbook collector's edition because that's one of my favorite horror movies, and it's finally on physical media.
Mm.
He said, "F." You have got any new comics, Kenny? He said, "F that
Um,
review for Netflix." Can't hear you.
I just realized that my laptop mic was on the entire time instead of my actual microphone. So anytime I was muting this thing, it had no impact whatsoever. So as far as comic books I've gotten recently, I've gotten sorry,
Ooh,
Absolute Wonder
nice.
Woman, which is
Mm-hmm.
great. Absolute Superman, which is
I
also
want that so
great.
bad.
This is really good. Uh, I haven't read this yet. Uh, Aliens versus Avengers,
Ooh,
which is also great. Oh, if you need the digital codes, I can always send those to you. From
the
Marvel, because
that AVA logo looks dope.
yeah,
Or
it
Avengers
does.
versus.
Yeah. But as far as like recent stuff, yeah, that's it. I got this in the mail recently. What are we doing here? Oh, not that. Oh yeah, I did get Absolute Batman a couple weeks ago. Um, and I got Ultimate Spider-Man, which I didn't want because I was buying them individually. But the trade came in because I pre-ordered it and forgot that I did that. I did that like months ago, so it just came in the mail one day. But yeah, that's it. I didn't really get anything for Black Friday except for I went clothes shopping today, which it turns out I can't fit any of my clothes that I bought, so I got to take them back.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it
god.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. All Wizard of Oz is full of dark stuff in the book and actually go the movies. Yeah, looks like it. He said Glick doesn't make it no better. Supernatural episode of Dorothy being a monster hunter in Oz was dope. That actually sounds pretty dope. Never seen the original Wonka. I'm pretty sure I have.
The original Wonka's great.
Did you hear
Good.
Captain America had another bad test screening? It's from a scooper, so take it with a grain of salt. Yes, I have been seeing that rumor go around.
I don't believe anything Scooper say anymore.
Yeah. Zach sat back when Ken went for the comics like he was going to be a minute. Nah, I was sitting back paying attention, focus. Especially since I love comics and I want to like what he got. And I really want that Absolute Superman. That cover is fire.
Yeah, it is.
Why didn't you finish watching Harry Potter movies? You're already halfway done. Just was not interested anymore. That's really
valid.
just it.
That's a valid reason.
That's a fourth one. I was like, this is cool. And I was like, wait, I gotta watch how many more? Like, I didn't finish the books. I was like, I'm not finished these books.
Growing up, maturing is learning that you don't have to complete things that you don't feel like completing, especially when it comes to entertainment. If I don't want to watch this anymore, I literally don't have to.
Yeah, just cut it off.
Or read it or anything like that. I made a huge mistake. I bought like 6 volumes of Deadpool, like complete collection things. I read like the first couple comics of the first volume and was like, I don't like this at all. And then I have like 5 more volumes of it, or 4 more volumes of it after that. And I was like, oh, that was dumb. But I don't feel obligated to read it. I mark them as read because I'm not going to read them. So
yeah. How much can Lord of the Rings War of Rohan do? It's releasing the same day as Craven Hunter, which already a ton of competition. There's been a lack of marketing for the movie. They've literally showed the same trailer over and over for that movie, and I hear no excitement.
Let me tell you something. I saw that trailer for that movie, I think when I went to go see something like recently, had no idea this movie was coming out. And I'm into the movie industry things and all that. I didn't even know it was coming out in theaters. Like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to do well at all.
Going to flop. Yeah, I think it's going to flop. I don't even see Lord of the Rings fans excited for it.
I've heard
this should have been like a Visions, Star Wars Visions thing that they did, like where they have the different Japanese people come in and do different Star Wars stories. That's what this should have been on on Warner Brothers, not a movie. That was silly.
Silly.
Glick isn't a thing. You can't recreate Barbenheimer. Well, Laser, unfortunately, you are terribly wrong because they did. Not at the level of Barbenheimer, but these movies are making a lot of money, and a lot of people went to go see both of them on the same day.
I don't think they'll have the same legs as Barbenheimer.
No.
But they are making that kind of money right now, at least in the first weekend.
Yeah.
Because Christmas is coming up, so people ain't going to movies like that.
Yeah. I think the problem with this is that so obviously Gladiator 2 is the Oppenheimer. I think Nolan is a more loved director than Ridley Scott right now. So Nolan sold it there. And I think the trailers for Oppenheimer are better than Gladiator 2. And Barbie is Margot Robbie and what's the director's name? I forgot her name is. But like Margot Robbie is more of a sell than Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. So, and we never seen anything like Barbie ever. Like Wicked is it's the 15th version of an IP that so and it's a musical. Did you see what I got? It's the highest grossing musical all time. That's how you know people don't go to the theaters to go see musicals because it's only been out for a week. Do you see what I got with me when I wrote it here? Yes, I did. Kenny, don't complete that thought. He did. Which one makes more, Sonic 3 or Mufasa? So many idiots kept saying Sonic 3 will be $1 billion. I don't think Sonic 3 is $1 billion.
Sonic 3 ain't hitting close to $1 billion. However, it will make money. I think it will be profitable for sure. A billion is
Mhm.
crazy. I think
I
it
don't
might
think
hit
Mufasa is gonna make
500,
that much
six
money
hundred
either.
million for
Yeah,
Sonic, which will be really good for it. Mufasa's
yeah,
weird because, like I said, it's Christmas.
yeah. It's not tracking really well, so
Yeah,
we'll see.
I think it was tracking for like a $55 million opening or something like that.
Gotcha.
There was something
So,
that was
guys, this
tracking
was
for a higher opening than Mufasa. I think it might have been Sonic. Actually.
probably is I think they're predicting, Mufasa between 34 and 40, and I think they're predicting, Sonic like 45, 50. So,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
yeah, the hype for it is real. But yeah, let's wrap this bad boy up. This was really, really fun. Kenny, I know you're not like super active right now on your channel, but what do you have coming next?
I don't know. So hey, what's up, everybody? So my name is Kenny Sparks. I run my own YouTube channel called Kenny Sparks. Essentially, right now I'm taking a little bit of a not necessarily a hiatus, but I'm putting up content a little bit more sporadically than I usually do. Usually, I put out videos once a week. Now I'm putting them out once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks sometimes. So right now, I'm just in a place where I don't feel like it. So for the rest of December, I cannot promise you I'm going to be putting out a review. I was going to put out a review of the 1976 movie, or 77 actually, which was titled House. Uh, that has been put on hold because I put out a little snippet of that to my members, and then it got blocked like weeks later. So
Mm,
by Toho, which I did not know made House, which makes Godzilla. If you've ever worked with Toho and Godzilla, they are a no-fly zone. So that should be interesting. I'm trying to think about whether or not I want to put all this energy into editing a video that's probably going to get blocked. So yeah, that's it. I think I might be on hiatus until January. Um, yeah. So that's all I got going.
yeah, man. And for me, I have a channel update video coming. Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. I think Y2K comes out this Friday, so I'm definitely going to be checking that out, reviewing that. And then obviously the upcoming December movies I'll continue to review like I normally do. I have a movies that made you live stream on either the 21st or the 22nd with Dark Movies, aka Toby. I am going to be on Obithorn Alliance's yearly end of year stream where we count down our favorite movies and TV shows. And I think that's all I have to announce right now. Oh, and I have a community live stream, which is going to be me solo talking to you guys, talk movie trivia, movie games, digital code giveaways, and all that stuff, where we could just chat and talk. Because I've just made it a goal for like every time I gain 100 subscribers, I'll do a community live stream.
Yeah.
So that should be coming in the next coming week. So that's all I'm going to be focused on right now. The next review, obviously, the videos are out now. Is Gladiator 2, Wicked, Moana 2, and those are the reviews that are out now. If you're a channel member, Blitz review is out for you. If you are not a channel member, check out my Blitz review on Tuesday. That's all I got for you guys. And like he said, have a good night. Need a